下手なくせに笑えない笑顔を見せた I love you もろくに言わない口下手でほんまに不器用なのにどうしてさよならは言えたのダメだねダメよダメなのよあんたが好きで好きすぎてどれだけ強いお酒でも歪まない思い出がバカみたいバカみたいほんとバカねあんた信じるばかりで強い女のふり切なさの夜風浴びる一人になって3年が過ぎ街並みさえも変わりましたなのにどうして未練だけ置き去りほんまにろくな男やない揃いの指輪外しますざまみろせいせいするいい加減待っててもバカみたい強いお酒でも歪まない思い出がバカみたいほんまにろくな男やない揃いの指輪外しますざまみろせいせい
Morning.
Hello? Okay, so my microphone is working on this scene. Okay, for some reason my microphone is gone. Hello? Okay, that's my mic. Okay, that should work. Hello, test. Okay, let me reset my devices here. That's weird. Why did I do that? I'm not gonna ask. Hide that. Hide that. I'm gonna check my stream just in case. Testing. Testing, testing. Testing. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Testing. Testing, testing. Test. Testing. 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 Test. Testing. 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 Okay. Enough playing around. Enough screwing around. Okay. Morning gives you a quick nod.
Looks like we can get to work at once. The Union muscle turned up. They look rowdy. We should talk to them.
What do you mean, rowdy?
I mean ungovernable. Martinez isn't exactly enthusiastic about the RCM being here. They prefer to be policed by the Union. These men here. Men who drink beer for breakfast. I have no doubt these are the Hardy Boys Evrard told us about. The ones who keep the peace around here. And the big one must be Hardy himself.
Why do we need to talk to them?
This is clearly the Union's peacekeeping force Evrard told us about. The one he said hanged our victim.
Let's see. You know, I gotta put like a noise gate on here. I think I lost my noise gate when I... Testing. Test. Testing. Testing. Hello. 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 Testing. 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 Test. Test. Okay, I think that probably sounds good. I got rid of all my air conditioner noise at least. Okay. Continue.
We can't be sure, of course. Evrard may have lied to us. He definitely has an agenda of his own. Either way, we need to interview them, and it won't be easy.
These the men Gart told us about yesterday?
I completely forgot. Sorry, I had a rough night's sleep. It's them by the looks of it. Loud and nasty, just like the manager said. One loose thread less to worry about, and one big problem to replace it.
There's so many of them. Maybe we should call in reinforcements?
That would just escalate tensions. No captain would sign off on it. Solving one murder isn't worth a conflict between the RCM and the Debarders Union. In fact, even the death of 2 detectives might not warrant an all-out war. So let's keep a cool head, okay?
He's not exaggerating about that mortal danger, just calmly factoring it in. Your fists clench and your pulse rises uncomfortably.
Let's roll.
One more thing before we do. We don't have to talk to them immediately. We can walk right past them, continue with our business.
Yeah, streetwise. Zoom right past. Do it on your own terms. But aren't you curious to know what they have to say about the murder?
They're in no hurry to leave. They think they own the place. Anyway, I leave that choice to you. Whatever you decide is fine by me.
Let's solve the mystery of the borscht. Tomatoes are so thinly sliced you can see through them.
A thin man is smoking below an exhaust hood, occasionally sipping from his mug. This must be the Whirling's cook. As you step in, he nods toward the table and says something in a completely foreign language. The only words you can make out are Garancy and Kubek. Okay, it's definitely not his name. Whatever you do, please don't call him Garancy Kubek. Please. It's not funny.
No. Logic is telling me no. I have to listen to logic.
The man puts his cup down and replies something, his left hand drawing arcs in the air.
What's in the borscht you're making there? Point to the large pot.
The man says a couple of sentences in that strange language of his and then seems to wait for you to speak. I'm pretty sure he asked you a question. He doesn't know your language. You can just say something cool in return.
Mercury rising. Run your fingers through your hair.
Borscht need more vodka?
He picks up a bottle from the shelf.
Okay, so it's vodka that keeps the men happy and in good spirits. Clever move by the Union.
Of course, vodka. Now that makes a very, very special borscht indeed. Turn it up and then ask for some yourself. Turning it up seems like a dangerous idea, honestly. The place is a powder keg.
Turn it up.
He smiles, nodding vigorously, then pours half a bottle of vodka into the pot. With a whistle, he stirs the brew.
Gorcy, could I have some of that brew?
He smiles and nods enthusiastically and, chattering away in his language, ladles some brew into a small thermal cup, then hands it to you.
Do you know what's behind that blue door?
He looks up at you, then looks away quickly, shrugging and muttering something to himself. Shrugging is an international sign for, no, I don't know what's behind that door.
Leo said you're friends with Manana, is that true?
The mention of Manana gets his attention. He smiles and delivers a whole slew of unfamiliar words and lively gestures. Then he falls silent again.
Oh, and thumb update. It's almost... I'm like Wolverine right now. You can barely tell. You got some impressive pots there.
He smiles and bangs his ladle against each of his pots in turn. It's almost like music, especially with the sounds of assorted dishes boiling and simmering on the stove.
I don't think I need anything else. Stay masculine. I'm gonna take that borscht. Give me that. It's a bowl. There's spit in it, reeking of tobacco. You see a hawthorn bushes outside. What was of men in overalls toting guns and union placards?
Behind the dockworkers, a ceiling height window. The hawthorn branches scrape the glass like bony fingers.
It's not time yet. Let me squint.
There's a little slide panel up there to let some air in. No need to open it in spring. It's still too cold outside.
Avert your gaze. Gotta get the body down.
There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The body below is entirely dedicated to that corpse smell. Emitting it is all it does now.
Go your nose without throwing up. 8%. Let's go.
The smell is
No.
repulsive.
Never done it
pushes
before.
in from your mouth, more instant and more familiar than anything you'd expected. More fever than odor. It fills your mind, flushing you from within.
Try to walk away.
Too late. It's impossible to keep in. Your body curls and pushes it out, burst by burst, until a pool of vomit lies under your feet and your throat stings from the stomach acid. The smell of Commodore Red rises from the pool. Among it, distilled spirit and bits of shish kebab.
Fucking corpse.
Keep it.
The lieutenant hands you a blue checkered handkerchief. Thanks. Wipe your mouth.
The hangover is clearly making this worse for you. You could use some ammonia to clear your head.
Okay, where do we get ammonia from?
There's the fruit nearby. Maybe they have some in their apothecary. If they don't, there's a greenhouse here, and a gardener with a wheelbarrow on the corner of the whirling in rags. If she works here, she might have something for the smell.
Pretty clever.
Turn away. I've only always done that on the first day like you're supposed to.
Let me handle this.
Woman says of the crowd in the mess hall before turning to you.
You seem a little different today. Less hospitable.
You are far from home, Lieutenant. This isn't a district known for its love of self-proclaimed militiamen.
You're not a gardener.
That's right. I'm not a gardener. I'm a legal counselor for the Dock Workers Union.
It feels like she's waiting for a reaction of some sort. Enough. Let's talk seriously.
Not a muscle moves in her face, but her eyes trace yours, stern and perceptive.
You are looking for Titus Hardy, who you think has information on a murder the RCM is investigating. You want to interview him.
She points to the man standing in the middle of the room.
That's Titus. Talk to him, but know this. I'll be keeping an eye on you. No strong arming, nothing official. The District of Martinez does not recognize your authority to make arrests.
It doesn't matter if you recognize our authority. We will make an arrest if we have to.
She says nothing. Her glare speaks for her.
What if I want to talk to you, not Titus?
What you want is of no significance, officer. Don't test your authority. In Martinez, you are no one.
Why are you so aggressive?
Aggressive? You make your living enforcing violence. These people are just dock workers.
So you were spying on us, and now you represent murder suspects. Just dock workers. We've talked to Everard Clare. We know who these men are. The Union's militant wing.
Listen, you moral intern lackeys. You're a mob, enforcing the unlawful privatization of Revachol. 20 fat men in the Occident are stealing it all, and you're their bodyguards.
Fuck yeah.
The tall, broad-shouldered man takes a sip of his beer.
So ask what you came to ask, or get back to your commanders.
I like that. Good start. Let's take it a step further. Armed uprising. What are the Union's plans?
Look, a comedian. Do your job, ask your questions, then get out of Martinez.
Strange. It's as if people don't believe a cop could be a socialist revolutionary.
What are you going to do to me? The lieutenant is not satisfied with the approach.
What are we going to do to you?
She starts laughing. It's cold laughter, devoid of joy.
The Union isn't going to do anything to you. It is not a crime syndicate. It is a labor organization.
Goddamn right it is.
If anything, it is the RCM who do things to people. But we digress.
What's your role in all this?
Like I already told you, I'm a legal counselor. Do you have hearing problems?
Yes. I should talk to Titus then. Give me that. Let's hit it. Oh, no, don't die.
This is where you say your bit.
A broad-shouldered man points to you with a beer can.
Detective.
Lieutenant acknowledges you with a sharp note. He's leaving it to you. Don't say anything yet.
Hey, dipshit. You hard of hearing or something? The boss man's talking to you.
Do not let their squeals disturb your serenity. These are but simple peasants, sire.
The chatter is too inane to reach your ears. Raise your chin and gaze into the distance like a prince.
What, is he fucking kidding? This guy high or something?
The little guy looks at space in disbelief.
Hey, asshole, up here. We're talking to you.
We are looking for Titus Hardy.
Lieutenant turns to the broad-shouldered man at the end of the table. First, we need to talk about your attitude. He's gonna kill me. I'm gonna die.
Wow. The RCM sent us some big dick cops.
Real big dick cops. Look at them. Reckless. Swinging in the wind.
Yeah, look at the big dick on that cop. Can't tell a dick that big what to do.
Must be something in the water in Jamrock.
Yeah, gave him real nice big dicks.
Yeah. Anyways.
You might want to start asking your questions now. It's not going to get better than this.
Do a head count first. Connect these men to the tracks you saw in the yard. Chance starting from the right. Boot size 44. Blonde man in his 30s. Overbearingly masculine. Sitting on his right. Standard working boots. Size 45 or 46. Eldest in the room. Probably mid-50s. Smoker. Quiet. Across at the other table. Hobnailed working boots. Size 43. Gang tattoos. Mesk or Sarah Mauritian in his late 30s, early 40s. He spent his youth in Villa Labos, a housing project in the Jamrock quarter. There were incarcerations. Hard to say what else. The ink is fading. And then, standard working boot. Steel reinforced toes. Size 46. The big dick. Wide at the shoulders and lean at the hips. Rugby cap. Fingerless gloves. And numerous scars. A little under 40. The emblem on his vest says Rowing Club. A little patch below it reads T. Hardy, Captain. In the far corner, standard working boot, steel reinforced toes, size 44, 40-something, non-alcoholic beverage in hand. You squint. Is that a plectrum?
Ow! Where?
On his neck. Forget it. It's not important. Let's call this one the musician.
And the little guy?
Size 41, with the light step. Not a child, after all. An older man with a rat face, mean, watery eyes, and 2 front teeth missing. In the middle, heaving and wheezing. Big guy. Boot size 46, deep marks. Probably carried the victim over. He, alone, is 130 kilos. Add the man in armor, and you could easily exceed 220. In conclusion, these 7 are the actors on the crime scene. The footprints were theirs, but there's a discrepancy.
One of them is absent. The odd soul?
Exactly. The missing lady driver who was running the drug trade. Does it mean the Hardy Boys are involved in the drug trade as well?
Not necessarily. The lady driver could have kept the drug trade secret.
Maybe. But hey, you've stood there for about 4 seconds, not saying anything. Now is a good time to hit them with questions. Where's the 8th Hardy?
The fuck is with you, fella?
Titus is staring at you with his head tilted. I've talked to Joyce. The merc you hanged, his friends are coming for you.
Yeah. By friends, you mean his squad mates from Cronell.
Wouldn't want to beat up his grandma.
There's snickering in the room. Some of the men put their beers down.
Nervous snickering. There's a rush of adrenaline present.
Yes, they're forming some kind of tribunal, and they're coming for it.
This is what happens if you take the law into your own hands. Other people start doing it too.
Let them come.
The Hardy Boys are right fucking here.
You heard the man. Right here. We're armed. We got the whole district behind us, and Glenn. Glenn is fucking crazy.
Yeah, a well-oiled murder machine.
The mood is on the rise. They're feeling confident, ready to punch out the whole Merc platoon.
The mercenaries are armed with automatic weapons.
We got weapons of our own. We got Ister 50s, Zeelagers. Glenn's got a knock cannon at home.
Will they pierce ceramic armor?
I guess we're gonna see, aren't we?
That was an unsure phrasing.
See what? That they don't?
Yeah. Like you've been up against ceramic armor.
He takes a sip of beer to bide his time, then tries to get the last word in.
You haven't even seen the whole suit, right? I've seen the whole fucking thing. And it didn't make him immortal.
Do you know a single series giant hornet can kill 40 bees in a minute?
The fuck is that supposed to mean?
You're the bees, they're the hornet.
We're not bees. We're men. We're socialists.
Easy, E. He's trying to phase you. What are you trying to do? Scare my men?
Joy said they've gone rogue. Nobody's controlling them.
Big fucking surprise. They hire psycho scum, arm them to the teeth, and let them loose in the city. What do you think is gonna happen?
He's really prepped himself up for this. He has to keep the fear in check.
This Cornell is bad news. You know that, right?
So are the local gangs. The fucking Barmy Army. And the Madre scum. You've been out there. Seen any around?
Yeah. Where are they now, huh? Sent back to Madre in an airtight cargo crate.
These people are trained military professionals with decades of combat experience. They are not a gang or a barmy army.
No, they're not. They're uncoordinated and drunk. We know more about them than you think.
Okay, conclude with a shrug.
What do you mean, okay?
I mean, okay, they're going to wipe you the fuck out, Titus.
No, they won't. Get out of here with your negative energy.
All he means is that the situation is serious.
No wonder you cops get shot to shit every day. Can't go to war with an attitude like that.
The man hanging in the backyard, did you do it?
So, you're not just here to swing your big dick. You're here for the pretty boy. A real looker, that one. Stinks like shit, too.
They couldn't get him down, boss. He's still up there, stinking up the place.
Funny. But my partner and I have a serious matter to discuss with you.
Why are your boot prints all over the scene?
You mean these boots?
Yes.
We all got a pair. We wore them the night we took the pretty boy out back and hung him by the neck.
As he speaks, his fists contract, going through the pulling motion again, savoring it.
Charge this.
Yeah. We did this. Together. All of us. Until he was dead. That's why our prints are all over the scene.
There's a catch hidden somewhere. He didn't confess so that you could take them all away. It's too simple.
But there's a catch.
There is no catch. these 7 honest men have all equally come forth to tell you what happened so that you don't waste any more of your time.
All 7 together. They're diluting responsibility. It's an anti-arrest tactic.
Who called the shots that day?
Are you deaf? There will be no singling anyone out. You can't arrest a Hardy Boy without arresting all Hardy Boys. Do you think you could do that? Do you think you could arrest them all?
A shadow of a smirk passes her lips as she tilts her head.
A trick question. Don't let her lead the conversation.
No, but seriously, who calls the shots around here?
Who do you fucking think does?
I want to bow to the bearded old man, but let's say Everard Clare runs the union. You answer to him, right?
You keep him the fuck out of this. We have autonomy. It's all on us. Everard runs the union. I run the Hardy Boys.
When the shit starts spinning, it will not land on Mr. Clare. That's the deal here. The Fixer will ignore the notion completely, focusing on Titus's culpability.
When Titus Hardy says he runs the Hardy Boys, he means that in an administrative capacity. On that night, everyone acted as one man.
You murdered him just like that. No remorse?
How many people have you sent to the Shays? Ever felt remorse for them?
Chaise électrique is the method of capital punishment in Revachol under the Coalition. During the suzerain's reign, it used to be the firing squad.
Or send them to Reunion to rot. For 20 years. For life.
He says that if it was worse than dying. Honestly, I drink so much I can't really remember anyone I've sent behind bars.
Doesn't remember them. He just forgets. Are you hearing this, Titus?
Ain't no use keeping a stiff catalog in your head. That's for sure.
When did this hanging incident occur?
You don't have to keep answering his questions.
I know, Lizzie. Relax. We killed him last Sunday night. Seemed like a good way to end the week.
How long had you known the victim?
Known him? We don't associate with scum like that, asshole.
Yeah. Who do you think we are?
Quiet. He came around about 3 weeks ago when that Pines cow first sailed into town. Happy?
By the Pines Cow, you mean Joyce Messier, the representative for White Pines? The same company you are striking against?
No. I mean the Pines cow. The stupid-ass cow they sent in to fuck us over. But you know what? Why don't you ask her about the pretty boy? I'm sure she has interesting things to say when you ask her hard enough.
That's enough insinuation for today, Titus. Officer, your interview is drawing to an end. Don't waste your last questions.
How did you kill him? Why did you kill him?
Why? 'Cause he was worthless mercenary scum. And he stepped out of line in my town.
So he was a mercenary, that's it?
And he stepped out of line.
He repeats, jaw clamped shut like a vice.
What kind of mercenary?
The kind that shows up when you start a strike. The experienced kind, too. Had Cohoy and Seminary written all over him. Ex-Oranese Special Forces.
A live grenade. Right here in our bar.
I can't prove it, but I know
He was sent by the Wild Pines. They hire merc shit like that. Story of every strike from here to Samara.
Hold on, how do you even know he was in Special Forces?
Cause one night, he walked straight up to the mic and said, I'm R&E's goddamn special forces, and I'm gonna fuck you all.
Really?
Yeah, really. Had a gin and tonic up there, sang some R&E's paratrooper song, and said he's gonna fuck everyone.
We couldn't believe it either, but he fucking did, right there. Like some kind of animal.
Sire, the tale is true. This is a serious violation of the karaoke code.
Right, but what did he actually do wrong?
Wrong? He harassed women, raped one, harassed workers, threatened to kill some as a warning.
He wiped spittle from his mouth?
From rape to harassment to threats of violence. Why the strange de-escalation?
To kill us all, if we don't open the gates, if we don't let the scabs in, if we don't bend over. And that was before he started coming here.
Yeah, he said it was his favorite joint now. Started coming here every night. Drinking, grabbing girls. Grabbed one of ours mid-karaoke, right there on the stage.
He grabbed someone?
Yeah, this girl's on the mic. A beautiful girl, young. Gets into the second verse of Lover Lake. The fucker grabs her legs, starts screaming. Show me your cunt! Why don't you show me your cunt? Then, he gets knocked on the head with a wine bottle. Doesn't even fall down.
Was this the same girl who was sexually assaulted? Raped, you said?
Aren't you fucking listening? My man is talking to you. He took care of it. They got the girl out before anything else could happen.
Yeah, me and Eugene got her out. Aren't you fucking listening?
There's something odd here. Seems like they don't want to talk about that rape Titus mentioned. Why not? This is a serious allegation. Make them talk about it.
Right, but who did he rape then? This is a very serious allegation.
No. You're not getting the name. That's a Martinez matter. And I'm not discussing it with you clowns.
There's nothing you can do for now. He's stonewalling you.
How did you kill him?
We hanged him up by his neck until he got real still. Wasn't that obvious, Copper?
Didn't they teach you anything at the cop school, idiot?
This is where an autopsy would come in handy. You have to work with what you know.
Right, maybe another question.
Maybe wrap it up instead?
So what are we gonna do now?
Nothing. Your investigation here is done. Leave Martinez, go back to your stations where you belong.
I think we're going to stick around, thanks. Some things don't add up here, Titus. I've done this job for long enough to know that people don't just confess to first-degree murder. Even if it is a group responsibility, we're going to look into this.
Good luck with that. You've heard everything a rent-a-cop is gonna hear from us, real law officials. You're lucky you didn't get a beating.
I'm gonna take off now.
The tear machine stands. Your bottles clunk into the machine, and
There we go.
Is this about the questions again? Because I don't really know anything.
Do you have any ammonia for sale?
she looks up from her magazine, eyes filled with tired ennui.
Yes, what we have is there, in the medicine cabinet. Go take a look yourself.
A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various medicine bottles, nasal sprays, and blister packs. They all bear the Saint Baptiste Pharmaceutics logo.
Okay, don't, overdo it or something.
There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The body
Okay,
below
28%.
is entirely dedicated. Just the ammonia only makes it worse. The combination forces tears out of your ducts. You manage to keep it in once. The second time, not so.
No!
When the vomiting is done, your cheeks are wet with tears.
Spit and say nothing.
Are you okay, officer?
You feel the lieutenant pat you on the back, heavy rhythmic pats.
You're facing tough odds here. It's aggravated further by alcohol withdrawal.
Why can't I keep it in if I've been a cop my whole life?
I've seen captains puke their guts out. It never gets easier. You never get used to the smell. Every Monday is cadaver day. Throw up, investigate. Throw up, initial autopsy. Throw up, bag it.
He pats your back again.
Then drive to the station. Maybe throw up on the way there if you didn't bag the thing tight enough.
You seem to be fine.
I think I've lost my sense of smell.
There's a pause.
A white lie.
Not being hungover helps too.
Can't we do something else? I think I want to solve something else now.
That's probably a good idea. Clear our head. But before we can do that,
He withdraws his hand from your back and looks you in the eye.
you need to get your shit together.
My shit already is together.
No, it's not, officer.
Okay.
We should go talk to the locals. Find something else to do while the wind changes. It's pretty bad right now. Give it half an hour. Get yourself together. Then come back and have another go.
Turn away. Oh, I gotta... Okay, so I'm almost leveled up. Let's deal. Oh, let's talk to this lady. You see a sturdy woman humming to herself. She seems to be browsing books. Hello. No ceremonies, just hello.
Hello?
She nods, her attention fully focused on reading. Who are you?
Me? No one. I'm just a working class woman.
If she's such a working class woman, why isn't she working?
Shouldn't a working class woman be working?
Not all the time. Right now I'm browsing books. Even a working class woman needs something to read.
Good, Nod.
It is.
I'm a policeman.
I know you are.
Everyone can see that. The rectangles.
He points to his sleeve. Do you need the help of a policeman?
What with?
She tries hard to focus on the bookstand.
What with? A lot of things. For example, people tend to go missing.
Maybe your husband is missing.
My husband? No, he's not.
So where could he be?
I don't know. At home now? Out drinking with his friends? Working?
Where is this going, officer?
So what I'm hearing is you don't really know where your husband is.
Yes, but I don't really need to know where my husband is. Not all the time.
Wouldn't you like to?
No.
She looks you straight in the eye. Her right foot is tapping nervously. I can totally help you find your missing husband.
Why are we still talking about this? I haven't lost my husband.
It's got to be something else then. Why else would you be asking her if it wasn't?
Maybe your cockatoo is missing.
I don't mean to disrespect, sir, but you are being a bit of a cockatoo here.
For what it's worth, I agree. But cockatoos can't be stopped when they get ladies. It's better to indulge him at this point.
Ma'am, I was asking about your cockatoo. Is it missing?
I don't even have a cockatoo. And guess what?
It's a trap. Never ever say what.
What?
Even if I had, it wouldn't be missing.
Alright, cockatoo not missing. I just wanted to make sure.
Great.
Just one more question. What did you mean by me being a cockatoo?
Nothing. Go read up on them if you're so interested. There's a great book in the bookstore.
Maybe you should. What if the cockatoo is your astral captain? Or your heraldic bird?
Actually, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Thanks for the tip.
Wonderful. The store is open.
Maybe your children are missing.
No, absolutely not.
Her words come out quick as gunshots. Okay, so where are they?
Are you a policeman or a nanny?
She's definitely disturbed now. Nanny, where are they?
They are not missing, sir.
You know where they are. They're at home, smoking, giving the ladder of vices a chance.
They're at home, right? Smoking cigarettes.
What? That's just... My daughters are perfectly fine. They're with their friends down in Shamrock. There's nothing to worry about. They're almost grown up now anyway. They're past the age they need me protecting them from everything now.
Well, for the danger is now greater than ever. Tell me, how old are they?
My youngest girl, Jolie, is just shy of 16. Jenny, she is turning 18 next month. But we shouldn't even be talking about them.
And can you describe me their appearance? Any features that stand out, something to make identifying a little easier?
Why do you need to know this? Haven't I repeatedly told you that they're not missing? That they're in Jamaica, well, at some stupid party.
Did someone say party? You could use a party. Hunt it down.
It's for the investigation. I'm trying to be professional.
There is no investigation here. I can tell you that.
She picks up a book and tries to concentrate. A flock of seabirds passes by.
Okay, it must be asked then. What are you doing here? Why are you pursuing this? Is it a hunch?
Watch her browse books.
Her hands move over the book covers. The tips of her fingers look rough, stained with yellow. It seems like she has spent a lot of time at work, smoking. Another comrade. Years of labor are pressing down on her shoulders. She deserves a hug for all the work she's done for mankind. An array of neurons fire up with joy. Bum her a cigarette, lest it turn to pain.
Do you smoke?
No, I don't.
I know for a fact that you smoke.
Why do you think that I smoke?
She looks up, slightly startled. Your hands look like they belong to a heavy smoker,
It's not like yours look much better.
she says while eyeing yours. Just give me a cigarette, please.
I already told you I don't have any. Go bother someone else.
She's lying. She's goddamn lying. She has smokes.
Just give me your cigarettes, okay? Don't lie.
Sorry, officer.
She stares at you in disbelief. Do you know where I could get a new pack?
From the kiosk? There's one near the harbor. It's Frita. You can look it up.
Okay, thanks. No problem.
She sighs.
Give her a hug.
You step in and close your arms around this foreign body, wandering astray in touch. There's a small movement beneath your hands as you shut your eyes. Then a tiny voice breaks out and asks,
What is happening?
She seems to be confused. Your hands are wrapped around her polyester coat. The fabric feels cold, moist from the sea nearby.
Keep hugging her.
The situation is oddly intimate. Your cheek is pressed against her shoulder. Her hand is trapped between your chest. 5 seconds pass, and their passing seems so unimaginably long. Then she coughs and says again,
What are you doing, officer?
I'm fighting for the working class.
Fighting for it how?
She hasn't let go of your embrace yet. A hug a day keeps the bourgeoisie away.
Oh,
There's a strange sensation as the woman strengthens her grip. She's hugging you back.
I guess it's better than nothing. Keep fighting on, my fellow comrade.
Then she breaks up the hug, her cheeks flushed.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
That's all for the moment. I'll let you read.
The woman before you nods and returns to her reading.
Hello, sir. Step right in. The store is open.
I am the law.
I know, sir.
She stomps her feet to feel warmer.
Yes, people get that you are the law. You really don't have to keep saying it.
Are you interested in a new and exciting book?
What kind of store is this anyway?
It's a bookstore, sir. We sell books, postcards, and some board games. It's called Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold your horses, little girl.
Don't be ridiculous. I know all these things.
You're fooling nobody.
Don't you sass me.
Sir, are you okay? You've been standing here silently for a while now.
Is it okay if I ask you some questions?
Okay, sir. I'll try to answer any questions you have. I hope they're about books.
What is your name?
My name is Annette, sir. My mum, her name is Plaisance. She owns the store. She's inside minding the register or organising the stock.
The girl gazes at the window, then suddenly jolts her eyes wide as if recalling something.
Feel free to step in and browse our wares.
And you're not standing in here in the cold because?
I'm signalling that the store is open. Otherwise, people might not know. They'd miss out on the crime, romance, and biographies of famous people.
I could help by brutally dismantling the free market.
Thank you, sir. I'm glad to help Mum out with the store.
She doesn't seem to understand what you said. Shouldn't you be at school or something?
I do my studies at home at the moment. I have to help Mum keep this place running.
School is stupid. No. Isn't going to school more important than this?
Mum says it's necessary to do both because it builds character. Mum says a proper worker is dutiful. That's how you get ahead in life. You succeed.
How's the business going?
Mum says it's peachy. She was a little afraid at first. There's talk about this house being cursed.
Good to hear that it's going well. I'm sure there's nothing to worry about. She stamps her feet, waiting for you to say something. What is this crime business?
Crime fiction is about murders or burglaries or things like that, and the work of a policeman or a private detective who's trying to solve a crime and catch the criminals.
Wait, no, not crime fiction. I didn't know what crime is. She doesn't know what to say. It's that bad. Point to your head.
Crime is a deviation from the law, punishable by either a civil or criminal sentencing. It's what the law prevents.
I am the law. Okay, I get it. Crime murder gets the people going.
And it's kind of like a puzzle too. You can guess who the criminal is, or how the good guys are going to catch him.
I'm a policeman myself. By the way, the law, as I said.
You don't look much like a policeman.
She examines you as to find something policeman-like. Huh. Well, what does a cop look like then?
Didn't mean to offend, sir. Sorry, sir. It's just that you don't look like Dick Mullen.
Silence! It's not your body that's important in police work anyway. It's your point to your head.
Head? Yes.
No, your mind. Not head, child. Heads.
Flexibility. There are millions of different people out there, and you have to get in their heads. Sometimes you gotta be the killer to catch the killer.
Isn't that very dangerous?
She examines the picture of Dick Mullen. Policemen live and breathe danger, little girl. Mullen obviously lacks the chameleonic skill.
Unlike you, sir. He's just a fictional character. He's no match for you. Maybe you can show me some real police work, sir. Like in the books.
Let's go ahead and... Okay, I'm going to deduce something about you now.
You fail to deduce anything substantial. She waits intently.
I'm a detective. I deduced that you are a girl.
Come on, anyone would notice that.
What is romance?
It's the type of book where there's a rich lady and she has to choose between the good man and the bad man.
She smiles at the thought, perhaps imagining herself in that situation.
Or there could be a story about a poor lady getting a rich man. It's about man and lady business, sir.
What about when everyone is poor?
That's really not a proper romance story. That's more like everyday life.
Sometimes you have to write about real life things.
Not in romance books, sir. These are about nice and pretty people, and everyone is happy in the end.
What about a book where the man and lady business doesn't work out at all?
I haven't read many of those. Maybe you should ask Mum.
Yeah, you think she has one about an excruciatingly painful breakup?
I don't think it's a romance story if the main characters break up, though.
She pauses, trying to figure out the appropriate answer. No, think about it. One where they plunge into a torrid spiral of pain and recrimination. Only it's really long and drawn out. Scarred for life. Phantom limb.
No, I don't know.
She looks at you with puzzlement. Doesn't ring a bell? Alright, I'll ask your mom.
Yes, she knows books. Definitely.
What was that? An idea for an unfinished novel stuck somewhere in your forebrain? Later, when you get the chance, you should address these issues by getting drunk. That'll show them.
How about now? What about a poor man getting a rich lady?
It happens, but usually the guy gets rich in the process. Or should actually be rich himself, but has lost his family property unjustly, like during the revolution or something.
I see.
Those are unhappy books, for most of the pages. People sad about what they have lost, but then it all turns out just fine in the end.
What about when both of the men are bad?
These are not very common. You can't have a choice between bad and bad. Nobody wants to read a story like that.
What if it's written really well?
Well, maybe then it's fine. Maybe if the lady then decides not to pick either, because she doesn't need a bad man. Yes, that would be interesting.
That's enough romance for me. I had other questions.
Maybe some about other books?
Who is that? Points to the woman browsing books.
Oh, that's Auntie Billy. She's nice if a bit distressed.
Why is she distressed?
I think she is a bad husband. Not very nice or helpful.
You can stop calling me sir. I am but a working man.
No, sir, I can't. It would be too tiring to refrain from it. It's already tiring enough to remember to say it all the time. It's nice of you to say I could stop, though.
I get you. I, for example, can't stop making this face. Point at your face. But I
That's a
stopped doing the
friendly enough
face.
most of the time.
Okay, bye. See you around, Annette. Gift books and molten candy. Old sports magazines tucked away in dark corners. The book collects the national recipes of Arda. They're all about lake trout. Okay, before we go into when we start reading a ton of books, I think I'm gonna do this little side quest.
Biographies of famous people. My name is Plaisance. Be welcome, and please take responsibility for the energy you bring into this space.
Gotta watch your vibes. Before we go on, you seem to be well off enough. Can you give me some money? I feel there won't be an opportune moment to ask later.
Sir, don't be ridiculous. I certainly will not give you money. I would be doing you a grave psychic disfavor. One has to earn one's success, even if one is a police officer. Handouts are nothing but manipulation. All they do is make you dependent.
Boo!
Certainly there are good things to be said about dependence.
It would forge ties between us working people. Good practice for the fighting our common enemy.
Now, hey there. It sounds like someone isn't taking responsibility for the energy they bring into this space.
Oh no! My vibes!
Fighting enemy. My philosophy is everyone just getting along.
So are you the owner of this store?
I am. The proudest owner of our little shop of culture.
I'm looking for a book about cockatoos.
A book about cockatoos? There should be one upstairs, right next to the shelf of biographies.
The girl outside mentioned that this place is cursed.
Cursed? Who said that? Annette? I will have a word with her. This place is not cursed. It has a robustly magnetic energy. Good for commercial activity. My business is thriving, sir.
What in God's name is she talking about?
Your daughter's the one standing outside the store, right?
Annette, yes, my daughter. I hope she wasn't slacking off again with her nose in science fiction. Tell me, was she at her post doing her job like a proper girl?
Yes, of course.
Wonderful. Did you talk to her?
Yes.
Great. On a scale of 1 to 10, how compelled were you to buy books after talking with her?
I'm not going to grade a human being. I don't do that.
Come now. It's not personal. It's about proper sales practices and market research. I expect an answer.
10. She's certainly very polite and helpful.
My precious, her dedication brings joy to my heart. If you have children, I hope they turn out as great as my Annette.
I'm here to dismantle the free market and abolish child labor.
You must be kidding. There's nothing like that happening.
Depends. How much do you pay the kid?
Good, sir. What does a young child do with money anyway? No, I save it for her, as a fund. She's securing her financial future out there.
Such criminal behavior would not happen in more developed countries.
In some more developed countries, this sort of thing is 2 felonies: child labor and slavery.
Those countries will realize they've raised a lazy and spoiled generation. Are we done with the jokes now?
Yes, we've had quite enough fun here. Right.
The lieutenant taps his foot. What you're handling her strikes me as wrong.
Mind your own business, sir. In our society, people don't get to tell each other how to raise their children. It's none of your or anyone's business.
Denial is the way she copes with criticism. The woman before you scans the store, her shoulders rigid and tense. Every now and then, she nudges her glasses.
What if I buy a book?
Then why are you talking to me? Everything is on the shelves to browse. Don't you feel compelled to buy anything? See those shelves there? Go. Be drawn.
Alright, I'll take a look then.
She smiles and nods, seemingly relieved.
Farewell for now, book peddler. I'm going back here.
You see a set of tattered curtains blocking the way to another room. A strange cage-like trinket dangles from the curtains.
Excuse me, officer. The back room is strictly for employees only.
We'll open the curtains.
Just as you're about to pull apart the curtains, the petrified voice of the shop owner cries out once more.
Sir, don't touch that. I told you it's off limits for the customers.
Her hand is closed around her pendant, her fingers nervously playing with the talisman.
Parapsychologically speaking, we're done if you decide to open them. I won't be held responsible for the consequences. It's too dangerous.
She looks away, mumbling. Why is everyone always messing with the curtains? Why can't they just buy books like normal people?
This is about the curse? That's why you're afraid?
No, it's just a storeroom for the employees, I told you. Now please step away from the curtains.
Man, this is different. I'm a police officer. I need to get in there.
Why? It's not like anyone was killed there.
She stops abruptly as her hand flies over her mouth, baffled by her own bluntness.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to be so impolite. Just please don't go there. I can't allow that. You'll only make things worse and unleash the powers.
Wow!
The curtains do seem frail suddenly, not robust enough to contain a slippery darkness.
But I sense this place calling for me. I must investigate beyond the threshold.
You do? My God, even more reasons not to mess with the curtains. Just step away, dear sir.
I don't care and you can't stop me. I'll open them.
No! Please just talk to me, officer. Come here and let's talk this through before you decide to do anything extreme.
Talking is always good. Go see what she has to say. Lies. Rip them open, we say. You see a tattered set of curtains and a polyhedron-shaped cage-like trinket.
Where are the curtains? Yeah, we'll talk to her.
Hello again, esteemed officer, and welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People.
Why are you so uptight about those curtains? I just want to know what's on the other side.
I already told you, it's just a storage room for employees. I don't understand why it's so important to you. Just let it go, officer. Go buy some goddamn books. You're supposed to be drawn to the books.
She recites it like it's a poem, or like she's playing a role she's grown tired of.
Why are you still talking about books? Are you trying to put a spell on me?
A spell? As if. This place doesn't need any spells or hoodoo mumbo-jumbo. This place has wonderful energy.
She wavers under your gaze, mouth pressed into a tight-lipped smile, and something breaks.
Okay, fine. It's because this place is cursed. Just like Annette said, they don't call it the doomed commercial area for nothing. Are you happy now, officer? Happy that you've ruined everything?
She closes her eyes and starts mumbling something to her pendant.
Host of hosts, she prays. Guard me and my honest business venture from the curse that lurks behind the curtains.
How does this curse manifest itself?
The curse is so much worse than you could imagine. It's a disease, eating at the very foundation.
A shiver runs through the woman as she looks around the dimly lit store.
It's the curse of financial distress, of ruin and bankruptcy.
She peers at the curtains again. Oh, Annette mentioned that the previous tenants have experienced some financial troubles.
It's not just that, officer. We're dealing with something supernatural here. It's the cacodemons feeding off bad business.
The cacodemons!
Disappointing income statements. There's something something wrong with this building, I can tell you. Ever since I arrived, I've sensed an eerie, lingering presence, as if I was unwanted here.
Why don't you just tell me right away it's the curse?
It's not good to talk about the curse, not in detail. The negativism, it's dangerous. Talking about the void wraiths angers them.
Wow. Void raves. You have new words. Such wraiths may prove a formidable enemy. Suit up.
Would you like me to take the case? I can investigate, see if the curse is real.
Most certainly not. I don't want anyone who's not familiar with the psychic arts to get involved in this mess. Stay away. Leave the spirits be, so they can return to their slumber.
My liege, you know what this case calls for? A para-detective.
Let's convince her.
Slither up to her, you silver-tongued fiend. Show her what world-class perfidy looks like.
Ma'am, I came here to help. I've handled paranatural situations before.
Are you sure? Don't think I haven't seen charlatans before.
I've returned from the void, a paradetective from long line of paradetectives.
You're no paradetective. You look nothing like one. And you're clearly a drinker. Pardon me for being so blunt, but...
You look like one. Hey now, hey. You need the booze to focus, all right? The lieutenant keeps his usual stony calm. He silently picks out his notebook.
I admit it, I've had my share of drinks, but only because the spectral realm is psychologically taxing.
How do you know all this?
Here we go.
I'm the Void Revenant. I have the powers to debad all the bad energies.
I should have realized. A pattern lies within the fabric. The hand of fate guides us. Our meeting couldn't have been mere chance. But I am not the only one at risk. I have to think of my daughter. You are certain you can help us? Keep us safe? I can't allow any collateral damage to hit us.
No problem whatsoever. Your family is safe. The phantoms are no match for me.
If you promise, good officer, then you might be our last hope. Do you swear it?
Hand on your heart. On my honor.
Thank you, sir. There's one more thing I haven't told you about yet. The entity.
The being?
Do not act surprised. You know of these things, sire.
Of course, the entity. Close your eyes, for I've sensed its presence.
You have? The entity takes the form of a woman, a witch probably. I've suspected that she must be connected to the curse ever since I first saw her. Did you know that she lives inside the chimney?
Chimney? The passage between heaven and hell, of course.
Yes, that chimney is part of the building's central furnace, and it's enormous. She has barricaded herself behind some metal security curtains. God knows what she's doing there. Some unnatural magic, I assume. You should go find the entity and ask what happened to all the companies in the building. What is the source of this curse? Here's the key to the warded door behind the curtains. Take it. Oh, and please do return to me after you've looked round. I'm quite anxious to know what she has to say about the curse. What you discover in there.
Unbelievable darkness and ruin. What you discover? Probably just some office space. Don't be scared.
I had a few more questions about the curse.
Okay, but please, only a few questions. You wouldn't want to disturb the spirits.
Have you sought help from anyone?
Yes, I've contacted numerous parapsychologists, and even a pair of Simonese mediators. They provided me with the wards.
She nods at the strange cage-like trinket on the curtains.
The wards help to keep the doom at bay and protect us against the darkness that lies further in the building. Even though now I fear it's not enough.
Is your pendant part of the wards as well?
Oh, this? No, it's a special Himian amulet, blessed by desert pygmy shamans, with a spell of compulsion. It's to compel people to buy books. There are numerous spells cast throughout the store. I had the books anointed with a different inducement spell, for example. It's guaranteed to boost sales 15%.
Desert pygmy shamans. That sounds like a rather questionable way to describe a group of people. Doesn't seem like the spell is working. There are no customers around except you.
Honestly, it seems like this pendant thing is a scam. You could be doing so much more.
Sir, I am well educated in the commercial and esoteric arts. I know what to do and what to avoid.
Only trying to help. What about some neon signs and blinking lights?
Sir, this is a bookstore, not a strip club. No one would take us seriously if we put up some horrendous neon lights. Besides, this would only tempt the phantoms of doom. They can sense the desperation, you know.
Never mind, I had other questions.
The woman before you scans the store, her shoulders rigid and tense.
Let's see.
Volumetric shit compressor. Bizarre scientific news from Revachol West today, where a police officer's shit has been observed at a pressure of around 495 gigadecimals. These metallic hydrogen levels of shit togetherness were thought to exist only at the center of collapsing stars, not law officials. It remains to be seen how long the shit singularity lasts. You see a set of tattered curtains blocking the way to another room. You see a dimly lit room full of dusty furniture and trash. A doorway stands in the back, covered in dozens of scary little cage-like trinkets, your shadow looming over it like an omen.
Oh!
Escapes from Plaisance as she tries her best to look away, her round face buried in her hands. I need to get some water. I'll be right back. All right. Ghostly silhouettes of hairdryers. No sane person would ever put their head into such machine. Vaguely androgynous portrait of a man. Merely looking at that unmanly haircut threatens your masculinity. Let's get my flashlight out.
A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens, if not hundreds, of little oddly shaped trinkets and charms. It appears to be locked.
Unlock the door with a key.
After exerting some force, you manage to turn the key. It's eerily silent. The door slides slightly open, letting a draft of cold air into the room. You feel the tiny hairs on the back of your neck rise up, as if someone's standing right behind you. An uneasy knot forms in the pit of your stomach.
Touch the back of your neck. What is this feeling?
Outside, the wind howls in from across the bay. The building at Rue de Saint-Ghislain stands like a matchbox on its side, with men inside like little wooden sticks ready to catch fire. A panicking woman squeezes the pendant around her neck until it leaves a mark inside her palm. A man, a few meters away, stands frozen with a key in his hand. Somewhere inside, a spider is spinning its web.
Open the door and enter. Sand is dripping from a punching bag. Otis, what do you want?
What is this place?
It's an adventure! Actually, it's the Netherworld, beyond the veil.
No, it's a gym. Though it looks like no one's been here in ages. I doubt the electricity still works. Good thing we have a flashlight on us.
Some specks of dust shimmer in a faint beam of daylight falling from the window. Other than that, the room is dark. An eerie feeling rises in your chest.
Let's just keep going. I'm sure it's just regular It's just a regular abandoned house. Nothing mysterious here.
Sounds good.
Give me that. Poster says, Sidious, Fortis, the rest is worn off. Smells like leather and sweat. Let's quick save. Worn out wall bars. They look unsafe. Let's try this.
A barbell lies on the floor. The color has worn off its weight plates. It's 60 kilograms. Your triceps hum at the sight of these weights. Show the world what kind of beast it's dealing with. Lift them. There are no collars on the barbell. This is a safety hazard.
Let's go. 42 is probably some of the best odds I've ever had for this one. Let's go. Damn it!
You manage to hoist it off the ground, but the barbell feels wobbly and dangerous. Your hands slick with sweat. Turns out you're no beast, just an old man with bad form. Even your body has failed you. It's a miracle you didn't injure yourself.
Fuck you, stupid barbell. No! 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 Oh, no.
Despair creeps into you, getting fat on your weakness. Whatever noble intentions you once had as a police officer, it's eaten them all up now. You're still coming up with sentences. That's a step up from total annihilation, right?
I'm done. No one even likes cops.
Yes, it can be difficult to be on the receiving end of so much distrust and outright hatred.
Nothing you can say would make you feel any better now. Cop, get...
Okay. Good thing I did a quick save, because that would have been annoying. Woo! Okay, we're good. Let's notice that the clips are gone. See if I can find clips.
A barbell lie. It's 60 kilograms. There are no collars on the barbell. This is a safety hazard.
Look, Kim, it's a trap. There are no collars on this barbell.
You're right. The weight may fall off. Better not touch it then.
What kind of a bastard would just remove the collars? It should be a felony.
It would be a violation of EPIS safety regulations if the gym was still operating, but it isn't. No one's supposed to come here anymore.
Leave. The hallway is blocked by an old window, panes and debris. that? A naked mannequin torso, a strange yellow color. Blue velvet, soft to the touch, moth-bitted.
Your flashlight slides over an old green chalkboard covered in scribbles, sketches, and schemes like some ancient cave mural. Some of the writing has faded with age, but you can still make out sections here and there. Photos and drawings have been pinned to the board.
Inspect the drawings.
These lithe, pointy-eared creatures appear to be different types of welkins. You make out autumnal candle welkins casting wax-based magic. Translucent welkins with organs shining under their skin, and even ether welkins hailing from the vast emptiness of sidereal space. You should adopt one of those welkins as your persona. No longer a mere man, but a welkin. One of the welkins, towering among the rest, appears to be different, however.
Examine the welkin. This is important.
It's Vara Hamira, a high welkin, his face white and scarred like cracked marble. This is clearly a welkin supremacist. The note says, all non-welkin races will be purged. The Haldor, the Twarg, the humans, and even headless men, all of them, purged. Imagine a world filled only with welkin, green welkin, dread welkin, and the high welkin to rule them all.
An inordinate amount of time has gone into drawing these little welkin creatures.
Whisper, one of them is a welkin supremacist.
Political commentary. That one has a great beard, too.
Lieutenant nods at the welkin's facial hair. Why would anyone spend so much time on this?
Some people really like building a world, I think. Even if it's just for a game.
Who are these creatures? Who drew them? Are they real? I have so many questions.
This looks like concept art for a project. It's not really real.
Well, this has been educational. Let's move on from the welkin.
Just look at those details. So much effort.
Inspect the photos.
The photo collage depicts barren, icy landscapes wrapped in perpetual night. You see permafrost and glacial landforms, dead trees grown in under the snow. Entire oceans have been frozen from shore to shore. There are pictures of settlements on dried-up riverbeds, abandoned in a storm. Animal corpses in the dark, carcasses and bones. You see primitive oil rigs built into glaciers, boreal dvorg, yurts under the snow, great mammoth-like beasts of burden. Albeit dark and cold, this vision also feels cozy in its own way, like eggnog or morphine, a much-needed respite from our own world. A pinned postcard reads, "The heat death scenario. A desperate fight for geothermal energy engulfs the world as Wirral becomes untethered from its sun, drifting through the universe."
Inspect the schedule.
This is a monthly calendar from the year 50. Cryptic words like sprint, daily minimi, and GPI span the marker-drawn grid, the grand scheme of production and money. It looks a bit like an academic calendar, only much more brutal. Minimi stands for a mini-meeting. It's part of a bigger framework for managing work called RUN. Station 41 tried to implement it a few years ago, but failed.
Keep reading. What happened?
As time goes on, the numbers in the boxes grow rarer and rarer. The board becomes an empty snowfield in the final days. Only failure and regret dwell in this region.
Looks like they didn't make it.
Lieutenant looks at the frigid ice fields of nothingness.
A note in the bottom left corner of the chalkboard says, "See the prod schedule filament for details."
Inspect the notes.
The handwriting is only partly legible, but you can still make out 3 slogans: "Call in, tune out," "Wirral untethered," and "Heat death of the universe." The full text reads, "Heat death of the universe is the new black." Another note says, "The biggest advancement in role-playing systems since the 30s. Outside, a cold wind wraps the building in its bosom. Snowflakes in the wind. An old woman passes what the locals call the doomed commercial area. She tries hard not to look at the bookstore windows. It's unwise."
Leave. Now let's pop that thingy in there.
This appears to be some kind of machine with a cube-shaped heart and a wired framework. The keyboard has a rectangular on-off button. A piece of paper still hangs from the printer.
The radio computer. Just sitting here without anyone inside.
He sounds surprised and a bit cautious.
What he means is that these things cost money. Why would anyone just leave it behind? This is the Ream Civic radio computer, model RC5120, equipped with a Feld mainframe and a Ream-compatible printer.
Turn on the machine.
The machine lights up like some prehistoric animal stirring from its slumber, revealing fluorescent play and print keys on the keyboard. The hatch on the machine's central compartment is wide open.
Look inside the compartment.
It's empty, like a beehive without its brood. Some cables have been left dangling, disconnected. The filament you have would fit perfectly inside the compartment.
Insert the production schedule.
Like a smooth draw, the filament slides into place. On the keyboard, the play key starts blinking.
Press play.
A bar of fabric right above the keyboard starts producing a soft hum. The sound of static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. Oh no. It was already glowing and now it's also making a sound. It's probably some alien CO-like technology. The static gets louder, slowly filling up the abandoned hall, until a voice speaks out, crackling and old, cutting into the air.
Good morning. Fortress accident en rue de Saint-Ghislaine. This is East Insulindian Repeater Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the production schedule?
Why did you call me Fortress Accident?
Fortress Accident is the company on whose name the terminal you are currently using has been registered to.
Do you have any other information? About this company?
One moment. Fortress Accident SCA produces revolutionary interactive call-in radio games. That's what the catalog says.
That's not bad.
And what's that? This interactive call-in radio game?
Any other questions?
What's the production schedule?
The filament you have inserted into the reader.
You mean that glowing thing I put inside?
Yes. Is that the production schedule?
Yes.
Good. Please repeat the password.
Password? Of course it would have a password. That's why there's a human administrator involved.
I don't know the password.
Received. I will register this login attempt.
That sounds bad. A login attempt. Something a criminal would do. Don't worry. Passwords have a way of turning up sooner or later.
Fortress Accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today?
That's all for now.
Thank you, and goodbye.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering, casting the framework in a soft glow.
Okay. Let's see. Never been able to find the password for this thing. I wonder if it's in here somewhere.
This old fireplace is covered in lines drawn in blue and red marker, the mesh spreading over the stone like blood vessels on alabaster skin. It looks ghostly and strangely ancient. The whole thing resembles Kadran mosaic tiles. Very pedantic.
Hold on, how do I know what Kidron mosaic tiles are supposed to look like?
History classes, students with their textbooks open, studying the roots of our civilization. Those aquarelle blue tiles looked beautiful in the sun.
What am I looking at?
Radio frequencies, it seems. UKV 123.6, UKV 123.7, UKV 123.9. Some written notes, too. Sparse and cryptic.
Radio frequencies for what?
Unclear. It looks like a cardiovascular system split into veins and capillaries. Very advanced.
Course. The anatomy of the curse.
Perhaps. The web is comprised of radio stations, all lead back to one red heart, titled the Game Master Frequency. A note says, this one can listen in on any station it wants. Looks like a surveillance program. They must have had massive airwidth. These things don't come cheap.
Wait, who's the Game Master?
Someone very important. A conductor for the hundreds of story threads that pass through the Game Master's frequency.
If it's a game, then who's playing?
Whoever decides to call in to a call-in station, it looks like. A list of names under the stations suggests people across 6 Isolas would be playing. Muindi, Insulinda, Kotla, Grad, Samara, and even Il Mara. There's no way a little basement studio working here could pull anything like this off.
My God. It's as if the less money they had, the more ambitious their project became.
The cost of airwidth alone must have been huge.
Exactly. This schedule, I know doom when I see it. The company was running out of funding.
What else? Squints at the lines.
Nothing. It's just lines on marble. An echo from times long gone. No one has used the fireplace in ages.
Let's talk to Kim.
Okay. What do you think is going on with that computer, chalkboard, and fireplace?
It's just a failed business. The only question is, what the hell were they making?
Yes, that is the question.
The lieutenant takes a step back, steepling his hands.
Like he's ready to lay out a fine theory, crafted together like a puzzle box.
It looks like one of those popular pen and paper role-playing games, only these people were trying to automate it, make it work on radio computers.
Wow. Wow.
Indeed, it's ambitious and untethered from reality, but...
The world is cold and lonely. This should keep you company. Let's finish it.
It's too late for that, I'm afraid.
He says, looking around the derelict room. The pipes howl and a rat crosses the floor.
Okay, let's keep moving.
Scribble across a notebook. Developers the most advanced RPG in the universe. How high is my perception anyway? Because this playthrough I can't see shit. Let's see. Uh, 5 isn't that bad. An ice cream maker defrosted and unplugged. The flashlight casts a strange shadow. There's a hidden doorway here. Two rusty rifles are hidden above the piping. They look inoperable.
A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment behind the wall. It's too dark to see in.
Look, there's a hole in the wall. Shine light on the hidden compartment.
There is, yes. And there also appears to be something inside the hole. Interesting. Do you want to take a look?
Okay, I do.
Your hand reaches deep into darkness and spiderwebs. Rummaging around, you find rusty rifles hidden away.
Inspect the rifles.
Most of them are rusty and inoperable, like the rest, but one catches your eye. A bolt-action model with a fine wood stock, in better cosmetic order than the others.
This one looks nice. Take the rifle.
That's a rare sight. Seems to no longer be functional, but still a beautiful thing in its own way.
What does this mean? A rifle here?
It means there are firearms, albeit inoperable, still lying around in Martinez. It's an interesting coincidence, I would say. Might come in useful in the future.
Where are we?
Seems like an old bunker from the revolutionary period. Look at all those rifles. Must be an old weapons cache.
Leave. Someone has stuck some busted guns beneath the ceiling. First, an ice cream maker that's still running.
Two cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads off into the darkness, and the black one to the ice cream maker nearby. Rip the red one out. Look how giant and red and inviting it is.
Unplug the giant red cable.
An electric sizzle. The room is slightly quieter now.
Unplug the black cable.
Something close to you dies with a soft electric purr.
Why did you do that?
I don't know why I unplugged it. I do things without any reason.
The lieutenant raises his brows, but doesn't say anything. The electric distribution board now has one cable missing.
Leave. Intercom wire is running into the breaker box. A cellar window. People's feet shuffling up by on the street.
You see the looming shadow of an ice bear with a strange compartment in its belly. The door is slightly open. Its eyes are dead, but it's still terrifying. Run before it wakes up. The bear looks oddly realistic. Is it taxidermy?
Crack open the door.
A faint waft of cold air rolls out. You hear the sound of dripping water. This is the inside of a defrosting refrigerator. The lieutenant takes a peek inside. His hand has found the holster of his gun.
Relax, Kim, it's a fridge.
Of course, just a giant ice bear-shaped fridge.
He relaxes his hand, his face bathed in the harsh light from the open fridge door.
Let's take a look inside.
Look inside.
The shelves are empty. All you see are crumpled ice cream wrappers with the brand name, Revachol Ice City. A handwritten note has been attached to the door. The fridge is huge.
What does this giant bear-shaped fridge do in an abandoned cellar in the first place?
Good question. It looks like an ice cream fridge.
Lieutenant reaches for one of the wrappers. He tries to stay in the darkness.
Somewhere in the past, it's summer. 5-year-old Fifette lets go of her mother's hand. change jingling in her pockets as she hops towards the ice cream stand right across the plaza.
So they tried to sell ice cream from this hyper carnivore?
I know. What an unfortunate marketing choice. At least it's not running them a loss anymore, now that you've unplugged the cable.
He points at the red shaky cable, snaky cable running from the fridge.
The fridge sits empty before you, an overindulgent wardrobe, now that the cooling systems aren't active.
Take the note from the door.
You pocket the note and the little fridge magnets keeping it on the door.
Examine one of the ice cream wrappers.
A friendly cartoon bear smiles back at you from a glossy cellophane wrapper. It looks nothing like the fridge. The paper still smells of vanilla and chocolate.
Close the door. The wall collapsed. It's inaccessible.
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black.
Smear your hands with coal.
A lush layer of coal now covers your skin, sinking into the wrinkles. Your hands look ancient. Still, it's good to have this dirt on you. Real men wear coal for makeup.
Look inside the furnace.
It's dark and grimy here. In the darkness you can hear chatter. It's coming from above. A voice or several voices talking to each other. Near the smoke chamber, upstairs. The echo is so prominent, it's impossible to discern what the voices are saying or what's producing them.
What are you doing?
Not sure, Kim, but I think I can hear someone talking upstairs.
Wait, really? We should investigate, see if someone's upstairs.
Let's yell hello into the furnace.
Something breaks loose in you. A mighty bellow echoes throughout the chimney's depths. The chatter of tiny voices above suddenly cease. Then,
Hello?
You hear a woman's voice answer. Hello, are you there? Speak to me.
Hello? Did you say anything? I can't hear you. Please come upstairs. There's a safety curtain on the second floor. I'll open it.
you hear a low rumble upstairs. The sound of a curtain being pulled aside.
After you, officer.
Leave. And I'm gonna make sure I open up the back way in case I need to come back in here again. Oh, it went up to 4 viewers. Cool. That's cool. Hello. But now I can kind of see better. That's... Skis with slipstream printed on the laminated top layer. Steel rotor blades bearing slipstream.
Looks like someone tried to reconceptualize their business here.
I don't get it.
Look, the skis and rotor blades both bear the same slipstream logo. It seems likely that they started out making one, failed to turn a profit, and then pivoted to producing the other.
But the question is, which do they start with and which do they pivot to?
That's a good question.
What a strange leap of imagination, and yet they still failed. How sad.
Reality is ruthless.
that. Airship rotors covered in spiderwebs. They remind you of blades. Wild animals stare at you in the dark, stuffed and mounted. Large demijohn full of strange liquid. Shoes in a puddle of melting snow. The floorboards creak. Oh. Give me that. This tray is full of dice, colorful polyhedral dice, hundreds of them. The candy dispenser has been repurposed to contain thousands of dice.
Hello, I'm Nia. Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Milius.
She taps on her headphones.
So what kind of die are you looking for?
She's got a direct view to the backyard. You should interrogate her about the lynching.
Hold on, what do you mean by milieus?
Yes, a Milius is like a call-in station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these.
She pats on the headphones on the table.
Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations can be quite interesting. I was so absorbed, I must have missed you knocking.
You must have had me confused with someone else. I haven't knocked on your window.
Then how did you get inside? By the south entrance? You know what? It doesn't even matter. What matters is that you're finally here. Let's talk dice. Did you have something specific in mind?
Why are you asking me about dice?
I'm a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need. That's why you're here, yes?
As she speaks, her bone-like fingers fiddle with a ring. Her bones light, but her hands strong. Role-playing games? You know the one made by Fortress Accident. Does that count?
Sure, I like role-playing games and I need some dice.
Very good. My rate is 10 real per set, unless you want something really unusual. Take a look around and see if there's any particular stone you want to use.
The walls around her are covered with rows of precious stones and minerals.
It almost looks as if the stones and dice are a natural part of the room, growing out of the shells like stalagmites. No falsehoods are present. She's a novelty dice maker and doesn't have anything to hide. Ask what you need.
Okay, I'd like to order a die for me.
Of course. Tell me what you have in mind.
You know the whirl untethered setting? I want to die for that.
Ah, yes. Fortress Accident. It's too bad they never finished their game. The Wiro Untethered die is a variation of a standard role-playing die. Only, instead of plants, it uses motives of ice and death. And loss, of course.
Ice, death, loss. Sounds like you.
I'm
Is
thinking
this loss?
something made from alligator jawbone, cast in black resin. The reptile bone is as white as ice and dead as, well, death. For 7 real, I could have it ready in 8 hours.
It's a deal.
Great. See you in 8 hours then. Was there anything else?
Hey, where are we anyway?
We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know.
She looks up at the ruddy bricks that make up the walls. Even though they've been repainted, there are still signs of coal black soot here and there.
But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home. Besides, I don't really have to pay any rent here, so that's a plus.
Creative.
When she arrived here, there was no room anywhere else. She must have known the other businesses.
What do you know about the man who was lynched behind the whirling in rags?
Nothing really. I didn't know him.
The lieutenant looks at his notebook, then the woman under the large window.
Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're saying you didn't see or hear anything unusual last Sunday evening?
I'm sorry, detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window.
You often work Sunday nights?
It's an odd profession, making dice for people. But I like it, and I prefer doing this to sitting at home.
What do you mean by the daily ruckus?
Well, there's always something going on in the Whirling's backyard. During daytime, there are usually those kids. And lately, I've been seeing a lot of drunk workers hanging about. Must be because of the strike.
She's heard of the murder, but did not see it, sire.
But I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid.
I see. Thank you for your answer.
She nods.
Anything else, officer?
I heard this place is cursed. Did you know that the people call it the doomed commercial area?
I've heard the stories. But I don't think those stories are true.
Wait, how do you explain what happened to all those companies then?
It's just capitalism. We only hear about tales of success, so it's often surprising to realize how many ventures actually fail.
Plaisance is the one who sent me. She's convinced that the place is swarming with malicious energies.
Plaisance, the bookshop lady? I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energies spared her somehow?
Actually, the bookstore isn't doing that well. There are hardly any customers, and she has to exploit her own daughter to keep the company going.
Oh, right. But it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the Whirling in rags? Some people say it's part of the building complex.
Hold on, the Whirling is part of the doomed commercial area?
You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and under the east of the Commerce Central project.
You're right, the Whirling doesn't really look like it's cursed.
And then there is me.
She sighs, looking at her messy work table. All kinds of tools lie there scattered, from knives to carving files to wire cutters.
I've been here for 14 years, selling novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts. Not exactly a million-real business idea, yet somehow I've survived despite the talk of malicious energies. Strange, isn't it?
It's because she's in cahoots with the demons. Maybe it's just because she's so talented that she's been able to woo the curse.
I'll be the first to admit there are many inconsistencies in this so-called curse.
I was just about to ask, what do you think? Do you think the curse is real?
The jig is up. The she-demon knows you've uncovered her true identity.
I think it still might be you that's causing this. Narrow your eyes very mysteriously.
So I'm the Grand Dragon in the cave. Might I ask what supports this claim?
I yelled to summon the ghosts of the doomed commercial area, and you were the one that answered.
Oh my, I've revealed myself. You better call the exorcists.
I don't have to call anyone. I'm a ghost whisperer myself.
Of course. How convenient. Well, if you ever find a way to explain all those inconsistencies in the curse, then let me know.
She turns back to her work.
That's all she has to say on the subject. She has been thorough and truthful, as far as we can see. Plaisance needs to hear about this. Perhaps if you combine your psychic energies, you will make sense of the situation.
Why hasn't her business failed? Let's go. Let's go.
A gust of cold air sweeps through the chimney. The stones and minerals on the shelves rattle as though agitated. For a moment, it almost feels as though you're outside the building, exposed to the atmosphere.
This is still just a theory, but hear me out. I think I know why your business hasn't failed.
Didn't we already talk about this?
She asks as the wind continues to seep through the cracks in the chimney. Because you're not in the same building as the others. This isn't technically the Doom commercial area.
What are you talking about? My address is exactly the same. Rue de Saint-Guilain 10.
No, the old coal plant that used to be here was subsumed into the new venture. Its ruins swallowed up. Yet it has a different address in the heart of the city.
Oh, this used to be a coal plant. Touch the safety curtains. You're in the chimney of another building.
This doesn't make any sense.
She looks around the makeshift nest that she has carved out for herself, bewildered.
Are you saying my business was spared because of a technicality? Where is this coming from?
I'm just using logic. It's windy in here. You probably haven't properly sealed the chimney crown.
You're right. I should take a trip to the roof once the snow is gone. Does it mean that I'm safe from failure?
Rest assured, no psychic attacks will reach you here. What?
Do you know what this is?
She raises her hand to reveal a piece of metal shining on her index finger. Your lucky charm? Some kind of ward?
It's a mourning ring. I made this when my first company failed. It was a small jewelry shop right here in the East Delta Commerce Center, built with the little I inherited from my parents. I drove it into the ground within a year. I didn't have what you would call a viable business plan.
Why are you telling me this?
It wasn't just a jewelry shop either. I always thought that it was just the world that you were supposed to try again and again until you finally succeed. And now you're telling me what? That it was all because I didn't run my little shops and ventures from a dump inside an abandoned chimney?
Don't call it a dump. You've made it nice and cozy here.
Yeah. Or maybe it's the entire world that's cursed. It's such a precarious place. Nothing ever works out the way you want it. That's why people like role-playing games. You can be whoever you want to be, you can try again. Still, there is something inherently violent even about dice rolls. It's like every time you cast a die, something disappears. Some alternative ending or an entirely different world.
He picks up a pair of dice from the table and examines them under the light.
But anyway, thanks for sharing your theories, officer.
Do you know what happened to the other tenants? Everyone else is gone.
More or less. Are you interested in anyone specific?
Oh, quite a lot of them spring to mind. Rats scuttle in the dark rooms under the abandoned blow dryers and dusty mannequins. Cobwebs cover rotors and radio computers alike. So much failure.
There used to be a hair salon here, right?
Yes, I think it was called Androgynous Orlando or something similar. They weren't a big hit around here. Turns out that working class men don't like genderless haircuts. They're scared of that word.
You wouldn't like it either. The others would laugh at you. A bit of experimenting every now and then isn't bad.
What's wrong with a bit of experimenting? The customers should have been more open-minded.
I guess it just wasn't the time yet.
She tucks a strand of hair under the headscarf. What happened to the gym?
It wasn't merely a gym, it was Artemitep's boxing club, a community project created to steer at-risk youth away from drugs and crime.
And who was Artemitep?
A kind man from Zemsk. I heard he had some trouble with the law when he was younger, and that's why he wanted to start the gym, as his way of giving back.
Maybe that's what Kuno needs, a community-centric boxing club.
Kuno? Who's Kuno?
The little ginger gremlin who likes to defile dead bodies.
Oh yes, you mean the kid with the sailor's mouth. Yes, I've heard him yelling profanities in the backyard. I think it would take more than a gym to help that kid.
Judging from the kids I've met so far, it didn't really work out, did it?
It didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse. At some point, someone started a rumor that the punching bag downstairs was full of amphetamines.
You should have known it. It's not really full of that. No one would store their drugs like that.
Shut up, Logic.
Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza ever since.
What's up with the broken windows?
Oh, this one's a mess. There used to be a company that promised to repair windows 24 hours a day. What could go wrong with this one, right? Turns out, the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit group that was producing snuff milias. Who would have guessed?
What's a snuff milieu? Trust me, you don't want to know.
And they never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway and I have no idea how to get rid of it on my own.
Cool, very cool about the debris. What's a snuff milieu?
It's a Sub Rosa radio station that broadcasts real murders with real victims. Some people pay good money to get off on it.
Nothing changes in her tone as she says that, as if it's just another piece of information to lay out for the world. What does she mean to get off on it?
Don't worry, the ICP has a separate division that deals exclusively with unlicensed sub-roses. This isn't our problem.
Good luck with that. It's not easy catching those perpetrators.
Did someone here make stuffed animals? I saw mounts lying around.
You mean Mr. Fabron, the taxidermist? No, he mostly just did drugs.
But what drugs exactly?
I need to know what drugs he was doing for my police report.
He got high on some weird taxidermy chemicals. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. Eventually, they caused him to lose control of his bladder. The smell was awful.
Even you can probably do better than that.
I found creepy mannequins.
There used to be a fashion atelier here, but I have forgotten the head designer's name. They were doing well for a couple of years, until the insect rights activists came.
I didn't know insects had any rights or activists.
Yeah, the atelier didn't know it either. They produced a certain collection that used chitin among the materials. Apparently chitin is made in the Occident, where it's extracted from beetle wings. And you know how all kinds of political movements are big in the Occident. The activists shut down the biggest chitin supplier, which of course caused the price to skyrocket. And, naturally, all the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in chitin from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could finish the collection.
I'm glad someone took care of those little guys. I like insects. Nod.
Really? Anyway.
What's with the rotor blades and skis?
They were made by a company called Slipstream. After they pivoted from making rotor blades to skis, their chief executive took off on a vacation with all their money. Honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions from Tulula or Tiumotiri or Hashtkor or wherever he is.
That's illegal. Running off with the company's money like that? Why hasn't he been arrested?
Sure, it's illegal, but it's not exactly anything extraordinary in business. Besides, Slipstream is history now. All their remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs in 47. I have no idea why those keys and blades are still lying around.
They were just props. Why return them? Maybe you could make a sword out of one. No, wait, forget it. It would take too long.
I'll still try. I found a strange machine.
Fortress Accident, the radio game studio. They were an interesting bunch. We talked about role-playing systems every now and then. Once, I even saw two of them get into fisticuffs over Wirral.
That's understandable. Fantasies are serious things. The mind is the drawing board of history.
They certainly took their work very seriously, even if they seemed to be chronically liberal with their schedules.
What do you mean liberal? What happened?
The usual. They ran out of money and couldn't get the project done on time.
What went wrong?
Well, I did hear them talking at times.
She looks at the hallway as if she can still hear them chit-chat behind her curtains on a cigarette break.
They seemed to believe they were historical individuals on some grand quest.
She sounds almost mocking when she says that.
From what I've seen so far, the product did look quite impressive.
Yes, but when the money started to run out, they just began to complain a lot about capitalism. You know, how the markets are rigged to keep out new businesses and so on. In the end, they just didn't get it done. They didn't have enough willpower to produce something truly historic, and to show up to work on time.
Showing up to work on time is hard. No, scratch that. Showing up to work at all is difficult, especially if you've been drinking.
Well, showing up to work on time is incredibly hard.
And so is producing something extraordinary. Anything else?
There was a terrifying taxidermy bear in the cellar.
Oh boy, the fabled Revachol ICT. You're in for a treat here.
She smiles and leans closer, hands on her knees like a stand-up comedian ready to tell a story.
The place was owned by two guys who had some rather innovative ideas about marketing. The bear was one of them. Now ask me about their other ideas.
Indeed. What were the other ideas?
Alright, what were the other ideas?
There was really just one. And it involved picking out the prettiest girls in the neighborhood and paying them 20 cents per hour to man the booth. And by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face that could maim you if you ever dared to disturb their bored magazine browsing.
Fritte does the same thing.
I know a girl just like that. She works in Fritte as a cashier, and she's not particularly friendly.
Employing silky teenage girls is a widespread practice, yes. Unfortunately, they always come in packs. I'm talking about acne-ridden girlfriends and gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the shop. At least that's what happened with Revachol ICT. And they already had the bear.
What about the bear?
The bear.
She repeats, pressing thumbs into her temples like trying to suppress a headache. It didn't work out?
Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator. To make matters worse, the fridge didn't work too well either, and half the ice cream came out malformed and partially melted. Eventually, Revachol ICT lost the price war to its rival, Glacé 5000. Glacé 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents a piece, out of regular fridges.
I killed the bear.
You did what?
She rolls her swivel chair an inch closer to you, unsure of if she heard you right. I had to kill the bear to become the bear. I murdered it with my own bare hands. I laid it to rest. It is my trophy now.
Really? You broke it? What a shame. It was a terrifying beast, but I was fond of it. The taxidermist who made it said it was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. He called it Megatherian.
Sounds cool. Scary, but cool.
What's a vision beast?
It's an imaginary beast that guides you through life by telling you to do more drugs, mostly.
Maybe this wise and noble beast can guide you toward those amphetamines you've been craving.
Hey, do you think that vision beast could guide me towards some amphetamines?
I don't, officer. You should stay away from drugs and vision beast. Anyway, now you know the story of the fallen ice cream empire.
She seems almost sad finishing the story. Some dust beams swirl in the morning light. Her eyes follow it idly.
Little sparkling embers under the window. Outside it's light. Light scatters from the low-hanging cloud cover. There's always the threat of snow.
Anything else? Another failed business, perhaps? I've been here for a long time.
Actually, I had other
Good.
questions.
I hope it clarified things a bit. Whatever.
Leave. Alright. See if I can make a sword. Want to make a sword out of that thing? Come on. Let me get some high on some desiccants. Bear.
The beer's
Tell me where to find
ice
the
inside the
amphetamines.
fridge, slowly melting. The power has been cut off.
I have to bring the bear back to life. That's what I have to do.
Both cables are unplugged from the somewhere in the dark. The bear's eyes are still glowing red, watching over all the ice cream wrappers hidden inside its belly.
Okay.
Only the red cable is an electric scissor.
Let's finish this quest. Actually, what I gotta do is screw around with the intercom. That's the next part.
An old call box with a matrix of push buttons lists all the companies in the East Delta Commerce Center. East Delta Commerce Center? This must be the name of the doomed commercial area.
Main hall, building A.
An off-key melody starts playing after you ring the doorbell. Then a woman picks up the receiver.
Kuno, please stop calling here. Grown-ups don't have time for your stupid games.
She thinks you're the gremlin child. What would he say to this?
Try to impersonate Kuno. Fuck up, pig. I'm Kuno. I don't give a shit. Let me in.
Pardon? This is not Kuno. Who is this? Please just stop calling here. I don't have time to deal with this. Thank you.
A single beep indicates that the line has gone dead.
Andrew Orlando, Hair SCA.
You ring the doorbell, but no one answers. What an ominous name for a hair salon. Doesn't bode well for anyone's hair. Just seeing the words Andrew Orlando gets your hackles up. Its very existence is a threat to your masculinity, to say nothing of your hair.
Artemetep boxing for young athletes in gym.
All you hear is static, but no one answers the call.
24-hour window.
You ring the doorbell, but nothing happens.
Emma's fashion atelier.
You wait for a minute or two, but all you get from the call box is silence. No one answers the call.
Fabron's taxi, the rest has been burned off.
Looks like someone has melted half the plastic off with a lighter. The doorbell doesn't work anymore.
Slipstream SCA.
You hear static from the intercom speaker. It sounds as if someone has picked up the receiver, but isn't saying anything. You can almost hear them breathe.
Hello? Is anyone there?
Yes, hello. This is Tricentennial Electric.
This is a woman's voice, crackling and fragile through the static.
Have you come to place an order?
She sounds almost antique, as if her voice was being played off an old wax cylinder. A receiver must not be working properly. Wait, but what happened to Slipstream SCA? There's no Tricentennial Electrics on the list.
Hold on, Tricentennial Electrics? I thought I was calling it Slipstream SCA.
My God.
The lieutenant exchanges a look with you.
Sorry?
It's you. My God. I didn't think I would hear your voice again.
It's a woman, and she knows you. Your heart beats faster. She must be mistaking you for someone else. Who cares that you don't remember her? Just go along with it.
Stand up straighter. Yeah, it's me. Here I am, crawling back into your life.
Michelle, just please.
She stops and you can hear her breathe heavily. Her breath's distorted by ancient static.
Sounds like a ghost. Wind blows through your clothes and you feel detached from your surroundings. Inside the building, a cold memory hangs.
Why did you even call? I don't understand. You've been gone for months. I thought you didn't care.
Hold on. Tell me what's going on. What did I do?
Ever since I came to live here, it's been different. As if my mind's been wiped clean.
A spot of static overrides her words. When she speaks again, it sounds like she's submerged.
It's so nice. It's so nice to be able to finally forget.
Forget about what?
She sounds like she's about to cry. The cold is deep under your skin, as if you were talking to someone who's 100 years away. Somewhere inside the building, water is flooding the cellar floor.
Oh God, please don't cry.
She doesn't answer.
You said it was nice. What's so nice about forgetting?
Silence. The only thing you can hear now is static and waves washing ashore on the bay.
I get it. You don't want to talk to me. No one ever wants to talk to me.
Another seagull passes by. It's getting cold standing here, staring at the silent call box.
It must have been some kind of faulty wiring. We should maybe stop playing with this doorbell. It looks ancient.
Fuck!
You press the number sign on the keypad that terminates the call. 12 name cards on the call box read.
Okay, let's try it again.
No. Hold on. The last thing you need in your life is more hysteric emotions. Forget it. Find something else to do.
Fortress Accident SCA.
Silence. No one's home at Fortress Accident. Silence. No one answers the doorbell.
Main hall, building B, whirling in rags.
Nothing happens after you ring the doorbell. They don't want to talk to you. You're going to just stand there and take it from a doorbell?
No, I'll show you how a gentleman treats the doorbell. Kiss the doorbell.
Like a cat's whiskers, your moustache feels it first, followed by your lips. The corroded metal of the intercom, cold, unattainable. Now you're kissing the doorbell. The doorbell remains silent.
That's unsanitary.
Oh my god, it lets you redo the check if you kiss the doorbell, and it gives you like a bonus. I love this game.
No.
Damn it!
The last thing you need in your life is more hysteric emotions. Forget it. Find something else to do.
Use stealth to pinball. Entrance from building B.
Silence. No one answers your call.
Empty card.
This button looks new, but someone has removed the name card. Nothing happens when you try to ring it.
This button looks new. I wouldn't be surprised if it hasn't been connected yet. Is it the dice makers?
Wait. Actually, we don't need that flashlight anymore. Just take that off.
Can I help you?
Okay.
You're alive and well. Don't keep me waiting now. What's in there? In that dark sarcophagus?
The dark sarcophagus. Pause dramatically.
Yes, yes. How was it?
Tell her how ghastly it was. You know it's what she wants to hear.
I am in no position to give out personal opinions.
Please do tell. Did anything survive? Have you located the entity?
I talked to the entity. She told me that you told me about. Her name is Niha, and she's a novelty dice maker.
A novelty dice maker? Well, spit it out. Why does she need the dice? For some kind of sorcery? Sometimes they use the ankle bones of sheep.
She's not a sorceress or some malicious entity. She's a businesswoman like you.
I don't understand. If it's not her, then where is the source of the doom? How did she explain the curse?
Before you say anything, ask yourself, is the woman really able to withstand the truth? The narrative she's built herself, it does need tearing down. To hell with it. Perchance you ought to just lie, sire.
Let's lie. The source is in the taxidermist's shop. He became involved in arts darker than taxidermy and brought the void spirits down upon this place.
Oh, how horrid! I knew something wasn't right about that place. Tell me, did you find a way to break the curse?
Yeah, I de-spooked it. The curse is definitely gone.
What does that mean? Are you certain? Oh, but who am I to question your methods?
He looks at you with sudden
All
admiration.
that matters is that the energies are retreating. I can already feel the curse lifting. It will be a long time until we're fully free of it, of course, but still. Thank you, officer. Truly, you've brought a better psycho-emanation to this humble bookstore, and that's no small achievement.
She so badly wants this to be over. She would have believed anything.
All right then. All's well that ends well. Should we return to our ordinary lives?
The shop around you feels ancient suddenly, damp and saturated by the coastal air. The books are rotting. A great cold lives here, and there too. 1,200 meters away, on the urban coast, the dark shape of a church is reflected on the water, calling.
Farewell for now, book peddler. Let's find that cockatoo book.
These shelves are overburdened with books from the same series. You see the name Dick Mullen over and over.
Silence!
A couple of spook novels hide amidst all the detective books.
Where's the animals? Quaint picture book brochure, very colorful. It's a tome of fascist magic, rather candid. Everybody knows the most interesting thing about fascists was their magic.
A sulfur-crested cockatoo sits on the cover, its beak slightly open. It looks as if the bird is calling out the book title, From A to Zurich, a guide to a well-behaved cockatoo.
Flip through the pages.
Turns out that there are so many different cockatoo species, and they all have behavioral problems.
What about this guide to cockatoo storekeeper?
It's a must-have if you own a cockatoo. I've heard they're quite capricious.
Steal!
You wait for the storekeeper to be distracted. When she's not looking, you haul the tome of cockatoos into your pocket. It's quite a challenge, but eventually, the guide to the cockatoos is yours. Splendid effort. The plaque on the shelf reads, Biographies of Famous People. You see a large variety of names, none of which ring a bell.
Storekeep? Anything of note on the shelf?
I would say... The Greatest Innocence. Yes, most certainly. It's an important educational tool, delving into the depths of history, religion, and their relation to innocentic power.
Or what is innocent and an innocence?
A very influential historical figure. But surely I don't have to tell you that. You're a law officer, and law officers have at least some education. The book is also very daring. The author aims to re-examine the universal understandings of the innocentic system, creating a fresh vantage point and a shift in the tired order of things.
So you recommend it?
Certainly. It's prudent for a person to have at least an elementary understanding of history and society. Imagine the chaos we'd be in otherwise.
You feel like you should get this one. Definitely. It's important somehow. There's something personal inside.
I'm interested in the Greatest Innocent.
A true cultural touchstone. Enjoy the read.
Several maps have been attached to a bulletin board hidden inside the alcove. They're held up by small pins. The board has come loose from one corner. The maps look old and faded. Your eye catches a map of Insulinda, a map of Revachol, and a map of Martinez.
Look at the map of Insulinda.
This large map displays archipelagos. You see a constellation of small dots on the light blue emptiness of the Insulindic Ocean. The largest in the northeast is La Caillou. You are here. Another, far away in the southwest, Seminese Islands, Ile de Fantôme. Ozon, Laurentide, Fas à la Mer, Archipelagos, North Arcade Islands, all just specks of dust on the vastness of the Insulindic. On the edges of the map, the color fades into a blur of dotted lines, black and white, disintegrating into mathematics. In the northeast, a dust mite stands on the north coast of Caillou in a bookstore. It's you. Radiating outwards from you, the suzerain Revachol, with a radius of 80 kilometers, still the crown jewel of this Isola would be barely visible.
Squint first. Can you see cities on these islands?
You can, on Caillou, Revachol, a single black star, on Ozon, Fondelier, and Vimandu, on archipelagos, Croyan Moran, Villiers, on Semenine, Olduvai, and on Laurentide, Deora of the Seven Seas. 850 million people live on these little dots, an oceanic world of culture and commerce torn apart by history. The ocean breaks apart into a tangle of cosines and azimuths, all pointing into pale nothingness. Mwindi is the north azimuth. Grad is the northeast azimuth. Samara is the east azimuth. Seol is the west azimuth. Isolas, they're called. Connections to other worlds. Words past the Insulindian, unknown to you. You only know you've never been there. You have little idea what they are. Distant stars, gods, but looking at them makes you feel almost non-existent. Whatever they are, the Isolas are immeasurably large compared to you, and very, very far away. Perhaps they are gods, gods of distance and outer dust.
Let's look at the map of Revachol.
The north coast of a verdant island is shattered by the delta of a river. It is the river Esperance. Countless bridges put the shards back together, connecting city blocks to river islands. La Delta says a great artificial heart in the center, teeming with life forms and construction. To the east, rolling hillsides, Le Jardin, Stella Marie, the suburbs of Saint-Baptiste, swallowed up into the megacity. They sound rich to you. This is Revachol East.
And west of the river?
Houdon. It's somewhere to live. Not bad. Then there's Jamrock. It's bad. People shouldn't live there, but they do. Then Forberg. It's almost as bad, and much larger. Then Coal City. It's the worst.
And Martinez?
It's so small you can't even see it on the map. No, wait. There it is. North of Jamrock, the strip of coast next to the Greater Revachol Industrial Harbor. It looks downright despondent. It's almost Coal City, to be honest. No, Coal City is worse. A charred limb. Rain falls on its slick black streets. And then there's the burnt-out quarter in the heart of Jamrock. Is it cold in this bookstore? Or is it just you?
Look at the map of Martinez.
It's not really a map. It's a tourist thing. A picture postcard with buildings on it, drawn from an isometric perspective. A date in the upper right corner says 48. Still, it's detailed. Could be pretty useful for scouting ahead. You see the jagged boxes of an industrial harbor, even the whirling in rags there.
Storekeep, can I buy these maps?
I'm sorry, officer. The map of Martinez is the only one available. The other two are not for sale anymore. And besides, you could scarcely afford them. They're quite valuable, though they might not look it. The map of Martinez is 90 cents, though.
You seem to underestimate my resources, but sure, okay.
Yes, yes. Are you interested or not?
20, okay. Let's just buy
Always
it.
good to be informed of your surroundings.
This bookstore is not strictly about crime, romance, and biographies of famous people. There's also a wide range of paranatural literature.
Look through the shelf.
Amidst the various books, you find one written by someone named Matthias W. Dundas. It's about wholeness, unity, balance. These three things are very important to the working class mind. The point of the book, and many others on this shelf, is to give people medicinal advice in situations where they don't have access to paid health services.
How does that work?
It serves platitudes, while also telling everyone that traditional medicine, the kind people don't have access to, and which costs more than this book, is garbage and would only give you cancer anyway, without even curing your cold or anything. Wholeness, unity, balance, on the other hand, can basically take care of anything. Though it is important to note, when it's up to your mind to heal yourself, then it's because of your mind that you're ill in the first place. It's your own fault if you're ill. Got it?
Does the book say anything else?
The book features chapters on topics such as how to find magnesium. It even lists plants you can harvest magnesium from. How to continue drinking if you're an alcoholic who has destroyed his liver. And there's even a chapter on the ancient Seraïs tradition of using duck gallbladder preservatives to treat and prevent sexually transmitted diseases. Pre and post factum apply. Nothing worth buying.
Storekeep, what books are these?
Sir, please, no browsing in that shelf. That wisdom is not for free. I can't have you end up, like, opening a police store next door and stealing my customers. Oh no!
Another boring book. It's just discarded there. Let's look.
Shelves filled to the brim with crime novels featuring the supposedly stalwart Vespertine detective, Dick Mullen.
Storekeeps, what's all this crime fiction?
Oh, crime, robberies, murders, even sexual crimes. We're fortunate to have Dick Mullen and his stories to sort all that out. You're a police officer, apparently. You should buy all of these. They really do teach a person how to be a proper detective.
Sex crimes did pique your interest, but still, this Dick Mullen person only gets your pleasure centers down. Note, reading about Dick Mullen would not actually make you a better detective.
Look through the display of
Crime
books.
fiction is a disgrace. An asinine misrepresentation of the physical attributes of the arduous everyday work of actual police officers. These books greatly overstate the excitement of police work, glossing over how long it takes to actually follow up on leads and eliminate dead ends. Furthermore, they have no idea how hard it is to simply remove a body from a tree. What's more, they completely ignore the psychological hardships of year after year coming into contact with people during the worst days of their lives. Not a single mention of all the stress this work creates upon the officer's family. Detective fiction just doesn't tell the truth at all. Now, would you like a list of all the books found on the shelf?
Sure thing.
You see Dick Mullen on the job. Get Me Mullen. The Stalwart Adventures of Richard P. Mullen. Dick Mullen and the Murder in the Orchard. The Sordid Affair of Dick Mullen. A killing is declared. Dick Mullen in the Murder House. The Final Case of Dick Mullen. An Obvious Lie. Dick Mullen in the Clock Tower. The Ordeals of Dick Mullen. Dauntless Dick. Dick Mullen's Funeral Pyre. The Murder of Dick Mullen.
Dick Mullen dies?
Oh no. Turns out he faked it to solve a case.
Are there any more?
Yes. There's also The Dame Who Did It. Farewell, My Mullen. Faking death seems to be a common trope in the Mullen series. The morbid tales of Dick Mullen. A dark tide turns. Tragedy calls for Dick Mullen. Another one with fake death. And, of course, Dick Mullen, the murderer. In order to catch a murderer, Dick Mullen must become the murderer. After all this, you still haven't found the answer to the one question that matters. Who is Dick Mullen?
Who is he?
Your quick eye notices a small caterpillar crawling across the spine of a book. The title reads, Dick Mullen, and the mistaken identity.
What do we have here? Mistaken identity?
A worn paperback from Dick Mullen's classic Hard-Boiled Phase. The premise seems to be that Dick Mullen is framed for the murder of his best friend and has just a few days to prove his innocence.
Why does this speak to me?
Could it be the motifs of unstable identities and shocking betrayals?
That's probably right. I'm a complicated guy, full of contradictions.
Then this is the book for you.
I want to buy this Dick Mullen novel.
Of course. Such violence and immorality. I mean, enjoy.
The display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks featuring an extremely muscular, sword-wielding barbarian on the cover. Nearly all the titles contain the word Heimdall somewhere.
Storekeep, tell me about the Muscle Man books.
Oh, Man from Heimdall. A very popular series of adventure novels. They're awfully immoral and violent books.
Why are they so popular?
Blood and violence, scantily clad women, epic narratives, all those mystical things he encounters. They're bound to grab those with little imagination and nothing to do.
Sounds good. Which one should I start
What
with?
does it matter? They're all the same. However, the customer is always right, they say. If you're a novice of the series, I'd recommend Heimdallaman, the man from Heimdall. It's supposed to be a good introduction to the series.
I want to buy the Heimdaller Man
Yes,
book.
certainly. Another good
I'm running out of money! Look through the display of books.
Rows and rows of Heimdallamen blur your vision. You make out some titles. Man from Heimdall and the Mammoth Riders. Man from Heimdall, Return to Heimdall. And the solipsistic Man from Heimdall and the Heimdall Man.
Let's see. What should I level up? Or should I do this? Nah, where's my endurance? Good God, how many of them are there?
Maybe 100. Man from Heimdall and the sages at the end of the world. Man from Heimdall and the false god. Man from Heimdall and the scorched earth. Man from Heimdall, the Heimdall colonies. Man from Heimdall and the swamp beast. Man from Heimdall and the snow crabs. Those snow crabs are worse than they sound.
Is that all?
Not even close. Man from Heimdall in hell. Man from Heimdall and the forest of slaves. Man from Heimdall under the lake. Man from Heimdall, Heimdall burning. There's even The Trial of Death, a pastoral combat game book set in the world of Heimdallaman, and so much more.
Pain threshold medium. Do any of the books call out to me?
A twinge at the back of your head makes you flinch. Your eye starts twitching.
Ow.
Your hand reaches toward a book with glossy cover art of the very muscular Man from Heimdall in chains, kneeling in front of a staircase leading to a throne. A woman sits on the throne, leering at the man. Between the throne and the Heimdallaman lies a bonfire, casting shadows on the wall. The shadow of the woman's headdress looks like a pair of devil horns. The title reads, Man from Heimdall and the Devil Woman.
Interesting.
The display rack before you is burdened under piles of Man from Heimdall novels.
I want to buy Man from Heimdall and the Devil Woman.
It is a bestseller for a reason.
Let's take one
A
more
small
look at this.
mountain of colorful board game boxes. There are numerous types of games for all ages. A lot of shelf space seems to be taken up by Wirral-related merchandise.
Look at the pile of Wirral-related items.
An endless variety of source books, lore books, and codices litter the table. The topmost book is titled Welkin Compendium, 2nd edition. There's also a large hardbound tome with intricate cover art, The Hunters of Catawak, Boreal Creature Compendium, and a Pick Your Path adventure game book titled Tales of Wirral, Cavern of Velkrag. Books in a board game section? Who wants to read books?
Anything that really catches my eye?
There's a box that says Wirral, 3rd edition Mega Setting Supplements Module. The side panel notes, a fantastique adventure board game, new maps and miniatures. A sticker on it displays 25 real. That price is steep, but then it's the 3rd edition Mega Setting Supplement, so it makes sense. Nonsense for anemic Beano-clads.
Storekeep, what board games do you have here?
Wonderful board games, sir. The Viticulturist is a classic for sure, or perhaps you'd like Archipelagos of Insulinda, a very educational game for those interested in geography. Braubritter is a fun game of economic competition, but can get quite intense after a while. We have games for the whole family. You can play with your children.
I don't feel as if I have any kids.
Friends are technically like family. For playing with friends, I'd recommend Suzerainty. It's a civilization building game where you build a civilization, then set off to brutally colonize and repress other civilizations. It'll cost 12 real.
So what about all these Wirral things?
Lousy auras there. No, role-playing games are popular among those types. You know, who are into those kind of things. Personally, I don't like it. Not at all. I've heard they turn people into occult enthusiasts. That they have rituals where they try to summon entities. Highly immoral stuff. You can still buy them though.
She look at the table crossing her arms. Okay, enough books. No, maybe I should check out the Cockatoo book real quick. I'll just read the Cockatoo one. I'm just getting reading material because shit in them comes in handy in weird ways. Let's see. Let's read the white envelope from Everard.
You take the legal documents out of the envelope. A 12 to 40 month construction period and the zoning plan in the addendum.
Try to find a loophole in the deal.
There doesn't seem to be anything of interest here. No fine.
83%.
You're smart. You can read.
Look at the zoning plan.
The youth center cuts into the ocean like the bow of some great modern ship. Apparently, it's going to cover most, if not all, of the street and the square between the existing houses. It's 3 stories tall. It's going to be awfully close to the already existing buildings, almost wall to wall, practically integrating them into the youth center. This is either an ominous or cool architectural choice. Hard to say. My money is on cool. Looks like a cubic pyrite.
Kim, what do you think of this?
I'm no property lawyer, but it looks fine. I like the print size. They're not selling or leasing anything. It's not a perfect solution, but...
How else are you going to build something? It's always inconvenient to build things, and citizens inevitably have disagreements over such construction projects. But there's no other way.
Try to find a loophole. Here we go.
There is no loophole. The simple truth is the current residents are going to lose their street access, and for the next 12 to 40 months, their lives will be dominated by constant construction noise right next door.
Wait, what are the ramifications of this?
Once the construction starts, it'll probably take a few months, a year maybe, for even the most stubborn occupants to get tired of living like this. After that, they'll sell their property for cheap and move out.
Look, Kim, these people are going to have to move away. Can we do something about it?
I should have seen it.
The lieutenant frowns as he reads over the document again.
Everard probably has eyes on us, but we could try to get other people to sign this instead of those listed. Or you could forge their signatures yourself. By the time he finds out, we'll already be gone. However, we'll need access to the coast before we do anything. Everard won't believe you got villager signatures if you can't even get to the village. You can try a forgery as soon as we can cross the waterlock.
Put the documents back in the envelope. Oh, I didn't read the fridge note.
The note is written with a blue pencil on a piece of lined office paper. The kitchen magnets have left spots on its surface.
Does it say anything interesting?
The lieutenant leans closer and to read the crumpled note over your shoulder.
This is tangential at best, but the lieutenant's detective instinct is still active.
Read the note.
Someone has scribbled, S. I can't believe the off-site copy is still here. The illiterate ginger kid keeps stealing stuff from the studio, so I had to hide it somewhere safe. You'll find the filament memory with the off-site copy in the frozen ice cream maker. Please take it home, ASAP. It's important. I'd do it myself if I lived in a civilized place with a freezer. Take care, Sully Swaff.
Wonder who wrote that
Looks
note.
like someone from that radio game company upstairs. I'm a little surprised they just left their property lying here.
Maybe they had to leave in a hurry.
That's a plausible hypothesis.
Remind me again, what's a filament memory?
It belongs inside a radio computer, storing its memory. It's like a tape. You listen to disco tapes, right? It's like one of your disco tapes, only for a computer.
Who's the illiterate ginger? I already know that, but...
Really? You don't have a single guess?
No idea at all.
I'm placing my bets on a certain red hat miscreant we met before. He'd probably try to pawn it for speed, based on our encounter.
Do you have any idea where the frozen ice cream maker could be?
I don't know. I assume it's somewhere close to the ice bear fridge.
Didn't you see one right next to the breaker box?
Put the note away. Okay, let's read the guide to cockatoos.
A cockatoo is a parrot with an erectile crest, found on the Seminine Islands and in southern Fas a la Mer. Known for their intelligence and general precociousness, cockatoos are popular birds in aviculture. However, they often exhibit various behavioral issues.
Okay, what more?
This book talks about the delicate nature of toos, as well as introducing some of the most popular species among the bird enthusiasts. The funeral cockatoo, the major majestic cockatoo, and the most common bang bang cockatoo. It's colorfully illustrated.
Alright, what problems do these birds have?
Where to even begin? All cockatoos are known for their needy natures, requiring attention for at least 2 full hours a day. They love to talk, and have been described as lovable clowns who just don't know how to wrap up.
I could handle that. It would be nice to have someone to talk to when you're feeling lonely.
Pet owners also report moodiness, loudness, and hostility as recurring issues. If left unsatisfied, cockatoos may scream non-stop, pluck their feathers, or become aggressive.
Alright, that's pretty bad. Anything else?
It is not recommended to get a cockatoo if you're not able to cook them food every day and give them the full care that they need. These birds will never understand that you have a life of your own.
Yes, but there's to be something great about cockatoos as well.
You're right. Cockatoos are magnificent creatures. They love to perform, cuddle and show off, and will even scream for fun, often as loud as up to 135 decibels. Ouch, that must hurt. Not great for the neighbors. Performing? Yes, birdie.
Read about the funeral cockatoo?
This is a yellow-tailed black cockatoo. Its specific name, Psittacus venereus, relates to its dark and somber plumage. This bird looks as if dressed for a funeral, 24/7. There is something indisputably ominous about it.
We got the major majestic cockatoo.
Perhaps the most impressive of all the species, the endangered major majestic cockatoo, is often described as the most flamboyant bird in the jungle. Its pink-colored wings and flowing crest embellishing its proud and bumptious nature. In the words of poet-explorer Sir James Fournier, few birds more enliven the monotonous hues of the verdant forest than this big, bold, and beautiful species. It must be glorious to behold, dark pink and snow white.
We got the most common bang bang cockatoo.
Despite its banging name, the bang bang cockatoo is actually the shyest of the species, common in almost all Seminoles forests, as well as zoos and homes all over the world. Its plumage is mainly grey and white. The Seminoles name, bang bang, is thought to be of onomatopoeic origins. The bang is for all the scary things in the world that may happen at any time.
So this bird does sound a bit like me.
Yes, but all those cockatoo species are so different. Which one are you?
What if I am just a fuck up a fuck up and a cockatoo?
You're right. You're a fuckatoo embodied. This sorry-ass bird belongs on your heraldry. It probably doesn't even have feathers and only screams.
Put the book away. Okay. Now let's let her know that I read about cockatoos and that she's right. Book says you must attend the Franco Nigerian hard body at the nearest gym. You're right. I am a cockatoo.
Excuse me?
I went and read up on them, and just like you said, I even decided on what kind of cockatoo I am. Want to know?
I don't know. The most talkative one?
No, I'm the fuck up
The what now?
The fuck up it's the one who always fucks everything up.
No, you're not. Don't think that way. You're just a regular talkative cockatoo. And let's leave it at that, okay?
The woman before you nods and returns to her reading.
Now let's go back to the ice cream shop and let me look for the amphetamines in the punching bag. Oh. Looks like the names of the 24-hour window repair shop. Okay.
It's dark. And the flashlight works a lot better if you hold it in your hand.
Flashlights go in hand? Stare at your hand uncomprehendingly?
Yes, you might even call it a feature of the universe that you need to hold tools to use them.
That makes no sense at all.
I'm sorry, the fundamental laws of the universe don't seem to agree with you, Detective, but the fact remains that it's too dark to see in here without a flashlight. So come on, we've got work to do.
I don't care. Oh, well, there you go in. Huh. Is this Emma's atelier?
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric freezer. The ice around it slowly melting.
Turn the ice cream.
Turning the crank feels oddly satisfying, like stirring your childhood dreams. In the distance you hear water, dripping.
Try to crack open the lid.
You slip your fingers under the frozen lid, but the ice is too cold for you to get a good grip. A pry bar would come in handy here. No, this is going to need something else. Some kind of super pry bar. Don't even try to open it with a regular pry bar. You're just wasting your time. If you want to try again, then you need to have the pry bar in your hand, detective.
Let's try the regular one. I'm not going to listen to myself.
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner.
Oh, actually, let's see. Try to get in those apartments again. I think I upped my authority enough that it'll work.
A sturdy metal door guards the southwest entrance to... This could be a way into the apartment building the smoking man vanished into.
Okay, let's go.
You're well versed in the kind of threatening legalese that implies criminal liability, but in fact has no meaning whatsoever.
Ma'am, your non-compliance is hindering a police matter. I may be forced to refer you for potential prosecution.
Am I right? And don't you marm me, boy.
The voice snaps back.
But the sweeping on the other side has stopped.
Miss, would it help if we offer to show you our badges?
Ah, it's like a carrot to the stick, sort of.
Hold your horses.
You hear the click of a night latch before the lady on their side gets caught in a coughing spell.
I don't care about your stinking badge. Just come in.
She manages to say with a wheeze. Fido says a firing squad for the rich.
Give me a moment.
An elderly woman is leaning on her broom, her knuckles white as bone. She seems to be having difficulty breathing.
The cold never does any good for my bronchitis.
She sneezes into a dirty handkerchief.
This woman's health is failing her. There's not much to do. Not in this damp.
Are you alright? Should I call a doctor?
I'm fine. Fine. Don't you worry about me.
She starts coughing, red spots appearing on her cheeks.
Now, what do you want from me, policeman?
She's the cleaning lady. She knows the floor plan and the residence.
I'm looking for a young male in his mid-20s. Dark hair, skinny build, a smoker on the balcony.
Yes, yes. I know who you mean. The scrawny boy who's always smoking like the devil, right?
She looks at the other end of the hallway.
Somewhere in the building, a child starts crying. You hear a radio tuned to a talk show and someone taking a shower.
What's he in trouble for?
No trouble, I just wanted to talk to him. Do you know where he lives?
Talk?
What was so funny about that?
He lives upstairs in room 28. Go to the balcony. It's one of those doors there. He's usually home in the evening.
Thank you. We should go check out his apartment on the balcony. See if he's home.
Thanks, I'm off. Let's... Let's just take this flashlight out. Oop. So let's take that.
Ooh, the piggies have learned how to saunter up staircases. I didn't think you could do that with hooves. But here you are.
That's right, we've evolved.
Yeah, I can see that. Cool mutations.
She crosses her arms.
That smell coming from her paint bucket. It's not paint. It's heavy fuel oil.
Is that heavy fuel oil?
Red-dyed heavy fuel oil, intended for exclusive use in government vehicles, to be precise.
He says, studying the contents of Cindy's bucket.
What did you think I was using? Aquarels? Sucked it out of a cop's fuel tank myself. Back in Jamrock.
That's some clever cultural commentary.
You ain't seen nothing yet, piggy boo.
Do you know anything about the recent murder?
I ain't no snitch, pigstein. Go forth and forage in someone else's shit. No shortage of squealers in these parts.
Actually, there is a shortage of people who talk to us in a normal, calm, informative manner.
We weren't put on this earth to make your life pleasant, fucko.
Why does art inspire you so much?
It does, yes, but what is art?
Excellent question. Art is a diverse range of visual, literary, auditory, and performative creativity. It's an expression of imagination and technical skill. Additionally, it's history, criticism, and pure enjoyment. In short, art is the highest form of human communication, representation, narrative, emotion, and agency intertwined.
Would I fit into the art world? I mean...
Have you looked in the mirror lately? You have the exact features of a savage art critic, with that beard and those clothes, disheveled and prophetic. Perhaps you should try to critique architecture too.
I guess I have been feeling critical lately.
Yes, you seek substance. No vapid representations and reproductions of social mores as made manifest in stuffy biennials. We're talking real, living art here. Become the art cop. Half art critic, half cop.
Okay, 50% art critic is what's needed to free me from rote repetition, so be it.
Exactly. It's not only your duty to only catch the criminals off the street, you must also apprehend criminals of the printing press and the gallery, the trite and derivative artists and writers of the world.
Yes.
Go ahead and provide savage criticisms, art cop. The world is yours to rip to pieces and reassemble.
Actual art degree. Oh, give Okay, I'm gonna find a good spot to end this. Okay. I'll come back to this probably tomorrow. Just gotta go. Bye bye.